What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 2TR Chapter 21. Returning to Konoha, the third generation is shocked. Looking at Chun's body not far away, Mizuki's expression was ferocious and his fists clenched tightly. Danzo. In order to kill me, he resorted to such despicable means. Mizuki took away Chun's body, even though he was not the real Mizuki, but after all Chun was implicated by him, and no matter what, he would never let Chun die like this. The Hokage world has the technique of impure world reincarnation, and coupled with the existence of the system, it is possible to resurrect a person in the future. There is one Yamanaka Fung left, we can't let him escape. The trump card must not be exposed. If third generation and Danzo know Mizuki's ability, they will definitely formulate targeted tactics, and the next time they attack, it will be a sure win. Mizuki quickly found the cave, he didn't rush in. If there is a detonating talisman trap and the cave collapses due to the detonating talisman after entering, you will be buried alive inside. The root ninjas have been brainwashed, and they can even put their own lives at risk in order to complete their mission. Mizuki doesn't want to die with Yamanaka, it's time for clone technique. No need to form seals, 3 clones have already appeared around you. These 3 clones are not physical shadow clone, but illusory. Mizuki let the 3 clones hide in different places, and then stepped into the cave. It's impossible not to go in. Who knows if there are other exits from this cave? If Yamanaka runs away, Mizuki will be in trouble. As for traps, there were 3 clones outside, so Mizuki didn't panic at all. With the moonlight shining in from outside the cave, the environment inside the cave was not completely dark. After entering the cave, Mizuki saw the Yamanaka win within a few steps. Why, do you really want to die with me? Yamanaka Feng looked at Mizuki and said, I don't know what other cards you have, but since you have come in, this is my last chance. Mizuki. Aren't you worried that this is my shadow clone? Yamanaka Feng. If you knew the shadow clone technique, you wouldn't have used it until now. So, this is your true body. Mizuki shrugged. Okay, you're right, this is indeed my true form. Yamanaka said. In that case, come with me and bury it here. Your ability is too weird, and I will never let you continue to destroy Konoha. As soon as he finished speaking, there was an explosion at the entrance of the cave, and the rock collapsed, completely sealing the entrance. Destroy Konoha? Haha, I didn't do anything detrimental to Konoha, and I didn't plan to defect. It's the third generation bent on killing me. Yamanaka Feng said, you hide your abilities and pretend to be an ordinary chunin, so what you say has no credibility. Forget it, we're all going to die, no matter how much we say, it's useless. Yamanaka Feng raised his head and looked at the roof of the cave. One after another, hissing sounds were heard. Mizuki also looked up and saw sparks flickering everywhere on the cave ceiling. They are all detonating symbols, at least hundreds of them. Boom boom boom. The violent explosion caused the rock on the roof of the cave to collapse instantly. First, small pieces of gravel collapsed, falling like rain. Yamanaka Feng was hit on the head by a fist-sized stone, and his head was bruised and bloody, but he kept stiffening his neck and stared at Mizuki. This is indeed my true form. Unfortunately, you don't know enough about my abilities. As Mizuki finished speaking, a stone the size of a human head fell and was about to hit his head. Advertisement seeing this, Yamanaka Feng breathed a sigh of relief. But the next moment, he saw that the stone penetrated Mizuki's body and hit the ground hard. Is this an ordinary clone? Is it an illusory afterimage? No, how could this be? When he walked in just now, there were clearly footsteps, and he was obviously an entity. Yamanaka shouted that it was impossible, but he would never understand this doubt until he died. Large rocks collapsed and the cave roof collapsed completely. Yamanaka was killed by the wind and his body was buried in the mountain. Outside the cave, a clone of Mizuki has solidified. This is the effect after clone technique upgrade. The main body can switch positions with any clone instantly. Mizuki calls it swap clone technique. Similar to apparition, however, the swap clone technique can only swap places between the main body and the clone, which is its limitation. The advantage is that you don't need to see where the clone is, and you can even ignore obstacles. Even though the cave was blocked just now, he still successfully used the swap clone technique to switch places with his clone. It can be said that it is another magical skill. Today's battle was really dangerous, and nearly 1/3 of the chakra was consumed. I used disapparition several times, and also used the A-level ninjutsu earth style once. Stone mirror wall, chakra consumption is huge. If I hadn't given Sakura the bowl of noodles and returned the upper limit of 10 Kakashi chakra, I would never be alive today. It can be seen that keeping up with the pace of the system is the way to go. Next, Mizuki began disposing of the body. The bodies of Wasabi and Jin were all burned to ashes by Mizuki. As for the Yamanaka wind that was buried in the cave, Mizuki had no choice but to let it continue to be buried. Immediately afterwards, he found the bodies of the bandits, cut off the heads of the bandit leaders, and prepared to take them back to the small village at the foot of the mountain. This is the mission certificate. The next day, Mizuki went down the mountain. When the village chief saw Mizuki, he was shocked, but he immediately straightened his expression. This is indeed the head of the bandit leader Hornhelmet. Konoha Ninja, thank you for taking action and wiping out the bandits on the mountain. After asking the village chief to sign the document stating that the mission was completed, Mizuki returned to Konoha. Konoha is very dangerous, and the third generation in Danzo will kill him. However, he must return to Konoha before he has absolute power. Only in Konoha can his strength improve rapidly, and he knows more about Konoha in the early stages of the plot. Compared with the crisis-ridden ninja world, Konoha, which is still in peace at present, is relatively safe. And the Chunin exams are about to start. When Orochimaru launches the plan to collapse Konoha, the third generation will fail. When Tsunade comes to power and becomes the fifth Hokage, Danzo's debt will be settled with him. Now that the seeds have been planted, when Danzo falls, Mizuki will truly realize his plan. What he wants is more than temporary stability. As a time traveler, it would be too boring to continue to follow the old plot and watch with a cold eye. Chun, when you wake up again, I will let you see a brand new ninja world. After more than a week, Mizuki stood outside the gate of Konoha again. Hokage Building, Mission Hall. The moment third generation saw Mizuki, his pupils suddenly shrank into pinholes. Sir Third Generation, the mission of exterminating the bandits has been completed. This is a certificate of completion signed by the village chief who issued the mission. Third Generation's heart was shaken, but his face had regained its composure. He took the document proving the completion of the task and said, "Well, not bad, you did a good job. The reward is 80,000 taels. After deducting what you owe the village, there is still 50,000 taels left. Go and collect it yourself. This mission took a long time and you worked hard. Please rest for a few days." After Mizuki left, Third Generation's face became extremely ugly. Trash Danzo, and he said he was guaranteed to kill Mizuki this time. Advertisement. He called an Anbu and said, "Go and find Danzo, I want to see him." Before Anbu could set out, the office door was pushed open. "No, I'm already here." Danzo walked in on crutches, looking equally unhappy. Third Generation screened Anbu and asked, "What on earth did you do? Why did he come back alive?" Danzo. "This time, I sent 3 people, Fung as Jonin, and the other 2 are also special Jonin level. Logically speaking, there should be no surprise if the 3 of them kill one Mizuki." Third Generation said coldly, but the unexpected happened. "So, tell me, what happened?" Danzo said, "The 3 of them lost contact as early as a week ago. I sent people to investigate, and the results have just come back." Third Generation. "How to say?" Danzo. "All 3 people were sacrificed. Wasabi and Jin's bodies were burned. Feng's body was buried in the mountain. Although it was dug out, it has lost any value due to the serious damage. The results of the on-site investigation show that Mizuki was the only one who took action." "What?" Third Generation stood up suddenly, his expression changed drastically. "You mean, Mizuki's strength is greater than that of 3 people working together?" Danzo was silent. Third Generation couldn't sit still and was pacing around the office, very irritable. "By the way, where is his fiancée? Danzo. Dead, the body will be burned as well." Hiss. Third Generation took a breath, frightened by Mizuki's cruelty. Strong in strength, but hiding himself, willing to be a Chunin. Such a person staying in Konoha may cause serious damage to Konoha at any time. Danzo. The best way is to gather the Jonin in the village and kill him. This. Third Generation hesitated again. Danzo was so angry that he roared, "Hiruzen, you must make a decision early. Otherwise, by the time he causes huge damage to the village, it will be too late." Third Generation frowned and said, "But we have no evidence." Danzo said, "Then fabricate evidence. In short, we can't drag it out any longer." Third Generation. The fabricated evidence will be discovered by the ninjas in the village sooner or later, when the time comes. Danzo turned blue with anger and said, "Are you so worried about your reputation being damaged and not being able to secure your position as Hokage?" Third Generation. "I'll think about it and then decide." Danzo exploded. An old friend for decades, Danzo has a thorough understanding of the character of Third Generation. The consideration mentioned by Third Generation means disagreement. "Hiruzen, you will regret it." Danzo stamped his cane hard, turned around and left in disappointment. He planned to bypass Third Generation and attack Mizuki directly. Danzo loves Konoha, and in order to prevent Konoha from being damaged, he does not allow Mizuki to continue to live. Moreover, he has lost 4 of his men in order to kill Mizuki, and he wants to avenge his men. His ideas have been seen through by Third Generation. "Danzo, you are not allowed to attack him until you produce evidence." Danzo had already reached the door, turned around, and said, "I will not allow such a scourge to continue to live." Third Generation. "This is an order." Danzo shouted, "Hiruzen, if you continue to be so indecisive, the village will be damaged." Third Generation glanced coldly. "Danzo, don't forget, I am the Hokage." Chapter 22. The Third Generation's calculations continue. Danzo slammed the door and walked out. In the office, Sanzang smoked his pipe and frowned in deep thought. When he deliberately didn't take the scroll of the Book of Ceilings, I realized that this person is extremely deep. But I didn't expect that he would hide his great strength from everyone. For so many years, he was willing to be an ordinary Chunin, and even served as a poorly paid teaching assistant in the school. Third Generation took out Mizuki's file and looked at it carefully. Since becoming a ninja, Mizuki has performed more than 300 missions. There are 128 B-level missions involving combat. He performed mediocrely in all 128 combat missions, and never showed his hidden strength in any one of them. Such scheming is terrifying. Third generation was deeply shocked. Among the people he had ever seen, no one but Mizuki could hide his strength to this extent. It shows that he has never felt a sense of belonging to Konoha. Danzo is right, if you continue to let him live, Konoha will definitely be damaged. Third generation has murderous intent in its eyes. As for fabricating evidence and forcibly killing Jonin, in the village, they are not easy to fool. Konoha is in trouble right now. If I step down, no one will take over. Of course I can't do this kind of thing. Danzo, it's up to you. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Come in. A staff member from the mission hall walked in and said, Master Third Generation, Dazuna, the master bridge builder of the Land of Waves, came to the village to issue a mission to escort him home. After investigation, it was discovered that Dazna had something to hide. He issued a C-level escort mission, but after investigation, it was found that this mission will most likely involve combat and should be classified as B-level. But he can't get more mission bounties, so he can only ask Mr. Third Generation to decide. Third Generation's eyes flashed and he said, a master of bridge construction in the Land of Waves? Yes, I understand. The country of Waves is very poor, so it's normal that they can't pay. However, the country of Waves has good relations with Konoha, so this mission is tentatively classified as C-level. In addition, I will personally arrange the personnel to receive the task. After the staff left, Third Generation was left alone in the office. He took out a document and looked at it carefully. As an island country, the country of Waves relies entirely on shipping to develop its economy. However, the merchant Cardo monopolized the waterway, causing the country of Waves to become impoverished. Now the only way out for the country of Waves is to build a bridge to the land and break Cardo's monopoly. Dazuna is a famous bridge builder. He came to Konoha to issue a mission and wanted to find someone to protect him in building bridges. Cardo will never allow the bridge to be built successfully and will send people to kill Dazna. The intelligence department has detected that the Kirigakure S-class rebel ninja Zabuza from the Kingdom of Water was hired by Kado as a thug. Zabuza, one of the Seven Blades, nicknamed Ghost, has elite Jonin-level strength and is famous in the ninja world for his silent killing technique. Third Generation smiled. He already thought of a way to kill Mizuki. Let Mizuki take over the task of protecting Tatsuna. When we get to the Land of Waves, we will definitely face Zabuza. With Zabuza's strength and methods, Mizuki is definitely no match. Letting him die in Zabuza's hands is a very good plan. To say the least, even if he is lucky enough to survive, his strength will be exposed. Then the villagers will realize that he has an ulterior motive, and they will even directly label him as a spy from another village. Advertisement. After making the decision, Third Generation immediately started making arrangements. At the same time, Danzo, who returned to his roots, looked increasingly gloomy. When you destroyed Uchiha, you said you couldn't suppress it with force, but you hinted at me to do it. In the end, I had to order Itachi to exterminate the clan. It's like this again today. I say I can't force my hand, but my eyes want me to kill Mizuki immediately with my roots. It's like this every time. You behave bright and majestic, and you are kind in the eyes of the villagers. It's me who does all the bad things and takes the blame. I've had enough. Danzo was furious and his eyes seemed to be spitting fire. After cursing for 10 minutes, he finally calmed down. During this silence, a strange smile appeared on his face. Haha, these days are finally coming to an end. Chunin exam, Orochimaru. I, Shimura Danzo, have a chance to make a comeback, and the 5th Hokage is mine. I no longer want to stay in the dark underground. I want to go above the ground and bathe in the warm and bright sunshine. Hiruzen, your indecision has made Konoha weaker and weaker. You are not suitable to be Hokage. Only under my leadership can Konoha be strong and return to its supreme position of overpowering the 5 major nations during the First Generation period. Mizuki left the Hokage building and immediately went to find Tsubaki. I went to Chun's house first, but couldn't find it. I asked my neighbors again and they said that they disappeared half a month ago. Then he searched the whole village for people, and even found the Hokage building. Doing so is, of course, pretentious. After all, if his fiancée is gone, he can't just show it at all. If you want to live in this village, you must behave normally. Facing Mizuki's inquiry, Third Generation could only say that Tsubaki was missing, and the village was also sending people to look for it. Both of them knew that Chun was dead, and knew why Chun died and where he died, but they both pretended to know nothing. Pretending to be confused while pretending to understand. No one will point it out because that would be detrimental to both parties. After a symbolic search for several days, Third Generation announced that Tsubaki had been killed and no bones were left. Mizuki was extremely sad, and was drunk all day long. He described himself as haggard and crying sadly. In the end, it was Iruka who took him to a custom shop several times before he finally got over the pain of losing his wife. About there, pretending is very tiring, and if he keeps pretending, he won't be able to stand it. Next, it's time to continue improving our strength. Each apprentice has 3 opportunities to return money every month. It has been more than a month since Naruto and Sasuke last returned, so it's time to continue. What should I give as a gift? Mizuki began to think about this question. It is best to give something away, which will greatly increase his strength after returning it. In fact, Granting ninjutsu will improve Mizuki the fastest, because the returned ninjutsu will be very strong. But the trouble is, Mizuki knows very few ninjutsu and has nothing to give as a gift. Advertisement. They all know the 3-body technique Naruto. The earth flow wall has already been given to little Sakura. The stone mirror wall is returned by the system, and sending it away will not trigger the return. If you give me a ninja tool, I will return a stronger ninja tool, but my use of the ninja tool is not considered a grandmaster, so the improvement will not be too big. Mizuki thought for a long time and couldn't think of anything to give for a while. So, he walked out of the house and walked down the street, intending to look around and find some inspiration. When he passed the door of the drugstore, an idea flashed in his mind. Step into the pharmacy and come to the counter. Boss, I want 10 military ration pills. After a ninja eats the Binglang pills, he can instantly restore a large amount of chakra and can replace food to replenish the energy needed by the body. When ninjas perform certain tasks or participate in wars, Binglang pills are a good supply and can replace food. I don't know what will be returned, but it's always good to have chakras things ready. Please keep the 10 military ration pills, a total of 1,000 taels, thank you. Mizuki said, don't worry, I want to buy something else. The boss asked, what else does the customer need? Mizuki, do you have any medicine to strengthen your body and strengthen your bones? The boss said, yes, but it is not taken internally, but used externally. It needs to be soaked in a bath to allow the medicine to penetrate into the body to achieve the effect of strengthening the body and bones. However, this medicine requires long-term use and is not effective quickly, but if you insist on using it, the improvement will be huge. The skin and muscles will become tougher, the bone strength will be greatly improved, and the body's sensitivity will exceed that of others. Those who come here to buy are usually those who specialize in physical arts. Before the boss finished speaking, a man rushed in from the door and shouted, Boss, I'm here to get the medicine. Mizuki turned around and saw that it was Xiao Li. The boss smiled and said, it's Xiao Li. Your medicine has been prepared a long time ago. He took out 2 packages of medicine and said, 1 package is for Guy and 1 package is for you. Xiao Li took the medicine and ran out in a hurry. The boss smiled and shook his head. You are really hardworking. In addition to the tasks, you are also practicing, and you are in a hurry to get medicine. Mizuki asked curiously, the medicine he just took is for physical fitness? The boss nodded and said, yes, among the many ninjas in Konoha village, Guy's physical skills are the strongest. This is inseparable from the bodybuilding medicine in my store. Because only when the physique is strong can the physical skills be strong. Mizuki. Then, give me some bodybuilding medicine too. The boss looked at Mizuki and asked, are you a ninja who specializes in taijutsu? Mizuki shook his head. Boss. Since it's not the case, then I advise you not to waste time on this. Before using bodybuilding drugs, you must undergo high-intensity physical training to allow the body to reach an overdraft state, so that the effects of the drugs can be fully exerted. Moreover, it takes years or even decades of persistence to see significant results. You don't specialize in physical skills, and you won't insist on exercising. The effect of taking medicine is extremely poor, so don't waste your money. Mizuki smiled and said, it's okay, I have money. The boss said helplessly, okay, if you insist on it yourself, I won't stop you, but I have agreed, if it doesn't work, don't come to me. Don't worry, I won't look for you. The boss had no idea, so he took out a pack of fitness pills and said, this is a month's supply, use it once a day. Mizuki. I want 3 packs. The boss was speechless. Why do you want so many? Forget it, it's up to you. 1 pack is 3,000 taels, 3 packs are 9,000 taels, plus the 1,000 taels of Bingliang Yuan, the total is 10,000 taels. Mizuki paid the money, took the medicine and left happily. Chapter 23. The mission of the Kingdom of Waves is coming. As soon as Mizuki walked out of the drugstore, he bumped into Naruto walking down the street. Do you have a day off today? Why aren't you on a mission? Mizuki asked. It's daytime now, so all the genin in the village should be on mission. Naruto complained. Kakashi-sensei left us alone and ran off to perform some special mission. Without the teacher leading the team, we would not be able to take on the task. If you don't do the task, you don't have the money. Without money, I can't even afford ramen. I'm so hungry. Mr. Mizuki, have you eaten? Otherwise, let's go eat ramen together. After saying that, he looked at Mizuki longingly. Mizuki. You are such a clever little ghost. Although Mizuki is not short of money, she can't treat Naruto to ramen yet. Naruto would eat 3 bowls at a time, and then the system would return all the chakra, which would be a big loss. Although for a ninja, the more chakra the better, but Mizuki's existing chakra is more than 11 times that of Kakashi, which is enough for him to squander. What he needs is a qualitative change, a substantial improvement in strength. It would be a waste to exchange the number of reward points for chakra noodles. What he needs most now is offensive ninjutsu, illusions, and taijutsu. I still have something to do, so I won't eat ramen. This is the medicine I bought for you. Use a small packet every day. After cooking, pour it into the bathtub and soak it for half an hour every night. Consistent use can effectively enhance your physical fitness. By the way, I'll give you this soldier food pill to taste. Naruto scratched his head and asked, Master Mizuki, why are you giving me these all of a sudden? Mizuki. Why are you asking so many questions? I am your master. Just take what I give you, it won't hurt you anyway. Okay, I have something else to do, bye, Mizuki said and turned around to leave, afraid that Naruto would force him to eat Ichiraku ramen. Not far away, an Anbu suddenly appeared in front of him. Chunin Mizuki, Master 3rd Generation is looking for you. Go to the Hokage office immediately. Mizuki was stunned and thought, why is 3rd Generation looking for me? Is there a new plan to kill me? Got it, I'll go right away. Mizuki walked towards the Hokage building. In my ears, the system's broadcast has begun. Open black lens bracket ding, close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uzumaki Naruto a course of bodybuilding medicine, triggering a 666-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have received a course of highly effective bodybuilding medicine. Close black lens bracket. Highly effective bodybuilding drug. After using this drug for just 1 month, the host's strength, speed, endurance, nerve response, and ability to resist blows will be doubled on the existing basis. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes lit up. Not a loss, but it's not over yet. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uzumaki Naruto a Binglang pill, triggering a 6,666 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you got a super military food pill. Close black lens bracket. Super soldier food pill. After eating it, 10 Kakashi Chakra will be restored within 1 minute. You will still be full of energy even if you don't eat or drink for 3 days, and you will permanently gain a chakra recovery speed of 0.3 calories per minute. Close black lens bracket. Good guy. Advertisement. The system is so awesome, it actually permanently increases the recovery speed of chakra. It's like carrying an endless power bank on your back. These 2 awards were returned, and Mizuki gained hugely. Soon arriving at the Hokage building, he suppressed the excitement in his heart and went to the office of 3rd Generation. Lord Hokage, what do you want from me? 3rd Generation said. Mizuki, you have been very active in performing tasks during this period, and the task completion rate is 100%, and your performance is very good. So I have a more important task to give you. Mizuki sneered in his heart, and sure enough, 3rd Generation had a new plan. In order to kill me, this old guy really spared no effort. Please do as you wish, Hokage-sama. 3rd Generation nodded and said, this year's newly formed 7th class, the team members are Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, and Haruno Sakura, and the instructor is Elite Jonin Kakashi. However, in the past few days, Kakashi has an important mission out of the village to perform. The 3 genin in Class 7 are not led by an instructor and cannot take on the mission. After much thought, I decided to appoint you as the temporary instructor of Class 7. Before Kakashi returns to the village, you will lead the 3 of them to pick up and execute the mission. Although it will waste your time and slow down your task, don't worry, the village will pay extra. This confused Mizuki. Let me be the instructor of Class 7, what does this mean? Don't you want to kill me? You can't expect the 9 tails in Naruto's body to explode and kill me, right? Mizuki is a bit confused about 3rd Generation's intentions. Of course, he would not refuse this appointment, and 3rd Generation would not allow him to refuse it. This was not a request, but an appointment given by the Hokage. I have sent someone to inform Naruto and the others that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you will gather in the mission hall of the Hokage building to start receiving missions. After Mizuki left the Hokage building, he kept wondering and couldn't figure out what trick 3rd Generation was playing this time. After much deliberation, he could only tell himself that when soldiers come, they will be blocked, and when water comes, the earth will cover them up. In the afternoon, Class 7 gathered, and Mizuki, as the temporary instructor, began to take the 3 little guys on tasks. Mizuki was always on guard, but everything was calm for several days. 3rd Generation actually didn't make any move. On this day, Lady Daimyo of the Land of Fire issued a mission to find her beloved cat Xiaohu. D-level mission. Mission reward is 10,000 taels. It was the appearance of this mission that gave Mizuki a flash of inspiration and he instantly realized something. The little tiger was caught, and was held tightly in the arms of the daimyo lady, kissed and kissed, screaming, struggling, crying, and helpless. The next task for Class 7 is to help the old and middle-aged adults take care of their children, or to run errands in the next village, and to help dig sweet potatoes. Before 3rd Generation could finish reading, Naruto exploded. Don't do this kind of mission again, thank you. I want to perform more powerful tasks, give me other tasks. Iruka stood up and shouted, idiot Naruto, you are just a newbie. Everyone starts with low-level tasks to gain experience. Of course Naruto didn't want to and started cheating. Finally, 3rd Generation sighed and said, okay, I understand. Since you insist, I'll give you a C-level mission. You go protect someone. Naruto was overjoyed. Mizuki stood aside and watched with cold eyes. He has completely understood the intentions of 3rd Generation. Advertisement. You want to use Demon Zabuza's hand to kill me? It's such a good plan. The Mist Shinobi technique that blocks the field of vision, coupled with the decapitating sword, and Zabuza's silent killing technique, Mizuki feels very troublesome just thinking about it. To defeat the silent killing technique, one must either have a strong sense of perception, use a wide range of wind-style ninjutsu to blow away the thick fog, or have a canine summoning mon with a keen sense of smell like Kakashi. But Mizuki doesn't know any of these. The best way is to kill Zabuza before he can use the Mist Shinobi technique so that he has no chance to use the silent killing technique. But this is not safe. Mizuki cannot guarantee that Zabuza will jump out and say a few words before taking action, just like the original work. The third generation is really shady. In order to kill me, they even ignored the safety of Naruto and the others. He's not afraid. Zabuza killed 3 brats first? Naruto was very excited and hurriedly asked who the target of protection was. Third generation smiled and said, Naruto, don't be so anxious, I will introduce it to you right away. After saying this, third generation shouted, please come in. The door opened, and bridge builder Dazna walked in. Team 7 officially took over the task of protecting Dazna. Third generation urged, now that you have accepted the mission, let's set off as soon as possible. Mizuki. Naruto and the others are leaving the village for the first time, so they need to prepare a few more things. And it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If we leave immediately, we won't be able to reach the next town in the evening and we have to camp in the forest. The forest at night is still very dangerous. Mr. Dazna, what do you think? Dazna immediately said, yes, you can't sleep in the forest. I think we should start again tomorrow morning. The client had spoken, and third generation couldn't say anything more. He just took a deep look at Mizuki. Walking out of the mission hall, Mizuki announced, we will meet at the Konoha village entrance at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't be late. Then he said, everyone else, please leave. Sasuke is with me. Mizuki took Sasuke to the training ground number 3. How far have you trained your chakra control? Sasuke stretched out his right hand, and the blue chakra gathered in his palm, and then formed the shape of a cat under his control. Although this cat looks rough, it is enough to show that Sasuke's chakra control ability has reached a very high level. There has been great progress, but we still need to keep working hard. Sasuke frowned and asked, isn't this enough? Mizuki smiled, stretched out his right hand, and used chakra to form a cat. But this cat, compared to Sasuke's one, was heaven to earth. It's so lifelike that you can even distinguish the beard. Transformation is a time and space ninjutsu. Chakra control is not up to standard. It is very dangerous to practice it rashly. Traveling through space, if you are not careful, you will lose arms and legs. Although Sasuke was very reluctant, he also knew the importance. He made up his mind to practice harder in the future. I came to see you today because of another training project. Sasuke asked, what is it? Mizuki. Listen to the wind and identify your position. The viewing angle range of human eyes is about 230 degrees in the horizontal direction and about 150 degrees in the vertical direction. Beyond this range, the eyes cannot see, for example, attacks from behind. Except for Byakugan, of course. So, ninjas cannot rely on their eyes, because there are always some attacks that cannot be seen by the eyes. Listening to the wind to identify the position is to train the hearing of both ears. Both ears can hear sounds from all directions, and there are no blind spots. So, the potential of hearing is very great. After training to a certain level, you can hear any sound, even the enemy's breathing and heartbeat. The more Mizuki talked, the brighter Sasuke's eyes lit up. Then how to train your hearing? Mizuki smiled and said, it's very simple. Blindfold your eyes and make yourself blind. Chapter 24. Just in time, echolocation about to face Demon Zabuza, Mizuki is under great pressure. We must find a way to break Zabuza's silent killing technique, otherwise this trip to the land of waves will be very dangerous. There is nothing you can do on your own, Mizuki can only rely on the system. Mizuki's idea is that no matter whether it is useful or not, it is still a dead horse. Human potential is unlimited. Humans have 5 senses: sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. In ninja battles, sight and hearing dominate. As a member of the Uchiha tribe, your vision is an advantage, but you cannot see everything clearly with just your eyes. Such as a sneak attack from behind, such as a plot hidden in the night. Enough talking nonsense, Mizuki began to teach the auditory training method he had just created. He took out a pile of bells and said, I will throw the bells out. You have to judge the position of the bells based on the sound of the bells, and then shoot the shuriken at the bells. Now, blindfold me. Sasuke directly covered his eyes with the forehead protector, and his vision immediately fell into darkness. It will be very uncomfortable at first. Now take a deep breath and calm yourself down. Concentrate on your ears and listen carefully to the sounds around you. Mizuki threw a bell, which landed 10 meters in front of Sasuke. Sasuke immediately shot a shuriken, which landed 2 meters away from the bell. Mizuki continued to throw bells, one at a time. Sasuke's shurikens were fired one after another, but they were not accurate at all. He only occasionally hit a dead mouse. The training was boring, but gradually, Sasuke also mastered some skills. He became more and more accurate, and even a few times, the shuriken hit the bell directly. He is indeed a genius. He has made such rapid progress. Mizuki was filled with emotion and envy. Even when it gets dark, training doesn't stop. From only throwing 1 bell at a time, it has now been increased to 3 bells at a time. The difficulty is getting greater, and Sasuke, who didn't care at first, is now obsessed with it. This feeling of becoming stronger was what he had been pursuing. Yes, that's it. Didn't he have the Mangekyo Sharingan? Didn't he have the Genjutsu Tsukuyomi? Next time I meet him, I will close my eyes and Tsukuyomi will never be able to affect me again. By the time the moon reached its peak, Sasuke had reached the point where he could ring 5 bells at a time and still hit the target with perfect accuracy. He could tell by listening to the voice that he was getting started. Ha ha ha, I've done it. Sasuke was extremely excited. Now, he can even build a 3-dimensional model of space in his mind, and then based on the sound of the bell falling to the ground, he can immediately determine the precise position of the bell, and then hit it with one hit. Mizuki's mouth twitched. These 2 pillars were too floating. How can I just hit the bell and think I can do it? Don't get too happy too early. You're just getting started. The sound of the bell is very clear, so it's easy to tell the location. Sasuke's laughter stopped when he heard this. What? Are you just getting started? Urzu was deeply hit. Do you think this level is enough? Mizuki was speechless. Now, the bell training is over. Next, let's change to Chinban. When the first Senbon hit the ground, Sasuke missed, and it missed by 3 meters. Chinban is very thin, and the sound is very weak when flying. Only at the moment of landing, the sound becomes slightly clearer. This stumped Sasuke. He couldn't hear clearly at all and couldn't determine where Chinban landed. Enemies don't carry bells on their bodies. They approach you silently, or they hide in the dark and sneak up on you. The sound they make is minimal. So, there's a long way to go. Sasuke realized that he had indeed been happy too early just now. Advertisement an hour later, Sasuke finally found the feeling and made rapid progress. It was midnight in a blink of an eye, and Sasuke was still in high spirits, but Mizuki was hungry and sleepy, so he had to stop. The most critical thing is that the system has no sound. This made Mizuki feel that working so long tonight was in vain. Let's just stop here today. We have to get up early tomorrow to leave the village to do some tasks. Hearing training cannot be successful in a short time. You already know the method, and you just need to keep training every day from now on. After leaving the number 3 training ground, the 2 went back to their respective homes. After Sasuke left, the system's voice finally rang. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted the disciple Uchiha Sasuke the ability to identify the location by listening to sounds, triggering a 2222 times return. Close black lens bracket. It actually works. Mizuki was overjoyed. The system remained silent, and he thought there would be no refund this time. Congratulations to host, you got echolocation. Close black lens bracket. Echolocation. Anyone who has studied junior high school physics knows that sound travels in the form of waves. When sound waves hit obstacles, they will rebound. This is an echo. Bats are nocturnal mammals with poor eyesight but excellent hearing. They use their mouths to emit ultrasonic waves, which radiate around, bounce off obstacles and form echoes, which are received by the bat's ears. Based on the echo information received and processed by the brain, the bat knows what is around it. The echoes tell the bats the location and size of nearby objects, and whether the objects are moving. Extremely accurate and extremely high resolution. This unique ability gives bats super ability to move at night. It is said that there is a boy in the beautiful country of California who lost his sight at the age of 3, but gained the ability of echolocation. When he was 14 years old, he could run, skate, and even play football and basketball freely like other people of the same age. Now, Mizuki has gained this ability as well. At this time, he felt that his hearing had changed, and his brain seemed to have changed as well. But what exactly changed, he couldn't describe in words. Cough. He coughed lightly, and soon his ears caught the echo. These echoes were caused by the sound waves emitted by his cough just now, which bounced off objects. The echo enters both ears and is quickly processed by the brain. A clear 3-dimensional image appeared in Mizuki's mind. The surrounding trees, buildings, stones, weeds, potholes on the ground, and even Anbu on the tree not far away are all clearly visible. Moreover, there are no blind spots. He can see clearly everything from front to back, left, right, up and down. All scenes within a 10-meter radius were clearly presented in his mind. Mizuki felt that the door to the new world had opened. He glanced towards where Anbu was hiding, feeling unhappy. He had long realized that Anbu was spying on him, but the other party was very capable of hiding, and Mizuki couldn't see it at all. This also led to him being cautious in doing things, for fear that Anbu would see something he shouldn't. Today, he finally saw this Anbu. Cough, he coughed again, this time much louder. This time, the imaging range of echolocation was directly expanded to 30 meters. Haha, with echolocation, you don't have to worry about Zabuza anymore. Moreover, the ability to transform is no longer limited by the field of vision. It can still be used even in a dark environment where you can't see your fingers. Early the next morning, Team 7 gathered at the gate of Konoha village to protect Izuna and headed towards the country of waves. Naruto was so excited that he started yelling as soon as he left the village. This is the first time he has left the village since he was a child. The weirdest thing is Sasuke. He is seen covering his eyes with a piece of black cloth. Even so, he still looks very cool. Advertisement Little Sakura is still an nymphomaniac. Sasuke-kun looks so handsome even when you were blindfolded. Naruto was unhappy when he saw that Lil Sakura only had eyes for Sasuke. You be asterisk 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 D Sasuke. Are you covering your eyes and pretending to be blind? If you trip over a stone, I won't help you. Sasuke. You don't understand. I'm practicing. Forget it. A fool like you can't explain it. Naruto made a cut sound, and his eyes began to roll, as if he was thinking of some crooked idea. When little Sakura saw Naruto's eyes were wrong, she immediately raised her fist and said coldly, "Naruto, if you dare to do anything bad to Sasuke-kun, I will beat you to death." Dasna was covered in cold sweat and shouted, "Hey, hey, hey, I want to return the product. You three brats all look trustworthy. Konoha sent you to protect me, but it was in vain for my life." Mizuki said hurriedly, "Don't worry, there is still my Chunin. And there will never be a battle between ninjas in a sea-level mission." A group of people walked on the forest path. The sun was getting higher. On the road ahead, a small puddle stood out. Mizuki narrowed his eyes slightly and remained calm. When the 5 people crossed the puddle, 2 ninjas immediately emerged from the water. Sharp chainsaws stretched out from the hands of the 2 men. The next moment, Mizuki was entangled in the chainsaw, and then cut into several sections. "Master Mizuki!" Little Sakura shouted in horror. "Ah, what happened?" Naruto didn't react yet. Sasuke, however, immediately took off the black cloth that blindfolded his eyes, then took out his kunai and shuriken, preparing to fight the enemy. "The first one," Brother Ghost said coldly. "Next is the second one." The 2 of them were behind Naruto in an instant, and the chainsaw wrapped around Naruto. "How dare you kill Master Mizuki? That's unforgivable." Naruto clapped his hands and hundreds of shadow clone appeared. "How could this happen? This is obviously a genin kid," Brother Ghost said he didn't understand. But the 2 of them didn't panic. The chainsaw danced, and Naruto's shadow clone dissipated one by one. "Watch Mr. Dazuna!" Sasuke shouted to little Sakura, then jumped up, fired 2 shurikens one after another, and nailed the chainsaw to the wood. Brother Ghost made a quick decision, let go of the chainsaw, and used the iron claws on his hands to fight against the enemy. Kill the mission target first. Naruto had too many shadow clone, and he didn't know which one it was, so the Ghost brothers directly shifted their target to Dazuna. The 2 of them rushed towards Dazuna at extremely high speeds. At this time, little Sakura had stood in front of Dazuna and quickly formed seals with her hands. Earth style. Earth flow wall. In an instant, the high wall rose, and the Ghost brothers were blocked from approaching Dasna immediately. "Naruto, do it together and kill them." Sasuke showed no fear and raised his hand to form a seal. Si Wei Shen Hai Wu Yin, fire style, great fireball technique. Naruto also cooperated tacitly, clapped his hands and shouted, Earth style wall. The next moment, a high wall rose up on each side of the Ghost brother. Coupled with the earth flow wall created by little Sakura, there are 3 high walls, blocking the Ghost brothers in a dead end. At the entrance of the alley, Sasuke's great fireball has taken shape. "No, don't." Amidst the screams, the Ghost brothers were hit in the front by the great fireball. When the fire was extinguished, the 2 of them were lying on the ground, their bodies scorched black and dying. "Phew, it's safe." Dasna breathed a sigh of relief. Both Sakura and Naruto were crying. What to do? Master Mizuki was killed. Sasuke said, "Don't worry, he won't die that easily. Look, there is no body there at all." Everyone turned around and saw that there was no body at the place where Mizuki was killed, only a few broken pieces of wood. "Ah, it's the body replacement technique, that's great." Chapter 25. Zabuza appears. Mizuki walked out of the forest and praised. "Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura-chan, you 3 performed very well just now." Naruto scratched his head and said, "Hey, I'm a genius, I can deal with such small scenes very easily." Sasuke. "Tisk, he's obviously a loser, yet he brags about his genius, that's shameless." Naruto said angrily, "Sasuke, you don't accept it, don't you? Come out and challenge me. If you're one-on-one, you're one-on-one. You'll always be the last one. I'll beat you until you can't get up." Sasuke was not to be outdone and looked like he was going to beat me up. He just noticed that Naruto used shadow clone technique and earth style. When the earth flows over the wall, there is no seal at all. Just clap your hands and use it. This ability is clearly what Mizuki once said, a manifestation of chakra control ability reaching an extremely strong level. I can't even simplify the seals, but he has already managed to release ninjutsu without forming any seals. The image he had of being a bad guy in school was definitely an act. Sasuke was very reluctant. Thinking back to the time when Naruto was always defeated by him in combat class at school, he felt anxious. "I'm Uchiha, the strongest, I don't need him to give in. I want to fight him openly, and I want to prove that I, Uchiha Sasuke, am the strongest." Seeing that the 2 men were getting more and more motivated to fight, Mizuki hurriedly stopped them. "Now is not the time to make trouble. We have just experienced an attack. There may be enemies secretly. At times like this, we must remain vigilant." Hearing this, Naruto and Sasuke immediately calmed down. The 2 attackers were tied under the tree. Although their bodies were charred, they were not dead. Fire-style ninjutsu is famous for not killing anyone. These 2 are Kirikage's Chunin, but they show up here to assassinate you. "Mr. Dasna, I think you need to give a reasonable explanation." Daisina remained silent. "Why can you see through our actions and cast the body replacement technique in advance?" the Ghost brother asked unwillingly. Mizuki. "It hasn't rained for several days. It's a sunny day like this, but there is water on the ground. This ambush method is a bit too low level." The three little ones suddenly realized. Dasna asked. You clearly know. Why do you let the children take action? What if there is danger? Mizuki smiled and said, I just wanted to test their courage. I am very satisfied with the result. Besides, as long as I'm here, there won't be any danger. Tatsuna. What? You're obviously just a chunin. Why are you so confident? Mizuki needs no explanation. Next, two of you three must take action and kill these two fog ninjas, Mizuki said calmly. Naruto was shocked. What? Kill them? They have obviously lost the ability to resist. Why do we still want to kill them? Naruto is indeed kind. No wonder, after being treated like that by the villagers, he didn't turn black. A kind person is not worthy of becoming a ninja, Sasuke said, taking out a kunai and swiping it across the throat of a ghost brother. Sasuke-kun, you. Little Sakura looked at Sasuke with a trace of fear in her eyes. Sasuke took care of one and glanced back at Naruto. Coward, don't you dare. The contemptuous look and condescending attitude made Naruto instantly attracted to him. I'm a man determined to become a Hokage. I'm just killing someone. There's nothing I dare to do. The kunai swept away, and the remaining mist nin also received the lunch box. Advertisement. Treat your enemies without any mercy. Otherwise, you will harm yourself and your companions. Mizuki said calmly, then turned to look at Dazuna and said, Mr. Dazuna, the mission you issued is C-level. We are only responsible for protecting you from threats from bullies, bandits and other ordinary armed groups. But now, there is a ninja assassination. This is beyond the scope of a C-level mission, it is a B-level or even an A-level mission. Maybe you have something to hide, but false entrustments will give us a headache. Either we give up our mission to protect you, or, get the price. Little Sakura immediately said, such a mission is still too dangerous for novices like us. Thinking back to the battle just now, especially the scene where Mizuki was cut into several pieces, she felt frightened and wanted to give up. Naruto shouted. No, we promised to protect Uncle until the bridge is built, how can we give up halfway? Keeping your word is the way of ninja from me, Uzumaki Naruto. Besides, the enemy is not very strong, so we don't need to be afraid at all. Mizuki. Sasuke, what do you think? Sasuke. I think someone's courage needs more training, so go ahead and treat it as a kind of practice. Naruto jumped in front of Sasuke and yelled, who is brave? I dare to stay alone in the cemetery at night, do you dare? Sasuke. Yeah, it's just a cemetery. Naruto. I dare to become a woman, do you dare? Sasuke stiffened his neck and said, I dare. Naruto. I dare to eat shit, do you dare? Sasuke. I. Naruto held his stomach and said, ha ha ha, you don't dare. You still call me a coward. You don't even dare to eat shit. You are the real coward. Mizuki. Little Sakura punched Naruto directly on the head and shouted, Naruto, if you dare to say such disgusting things again, I will beat you to death. The group of 5 people continued on the road and walked for 3 days before finally reaching the seaside and then taking a boat to the country of waves. Mr. Dazuna, we are almost at the country of Tatsumi ahead. If you don't give a reasonable explanation, then the mission will end when the ship docks. Dazna decisively betrayed her and then kidnapped her morally. Naruto was overflowing with sympathy and threatened to carry out the mission to the end. Master Mizuki, I will complete this task. If you don't agree, just go back first. I can still defeat that bully Cardo by myself. Mizuki. Forget it, I've got you. But Mr. Dazuna, I will classify this mission as B-level, and the reward will be increased to 100,000 taels. Although the country of waves has no money now, once the bridge is repaired, the country of waves will become rich, and the mission rewards must be paid back by then. Dazna. As long as you can protect me and repair the bridge, not to mention 100,000 taels, even 200,000 taels will be fine. After the boat docked, there was still a forest path away from Dazna's home. Everyone, be careful. When we get here, the enemy will launch a surprise attack at any time. Mizuki reminded. He was already on guard. Zabuza Momochi, known as the Demon Man, is no ordinary ninja. Never be careless. Echolocation has been turned on, making sounds from time to time, and all objects within a radius of 30 meters appear in his mind. Soon, echolocation detected a person hiding in a tree beside the road. Carrying a large sword on his back was none other than Zabuza. Sasuke, great fireball technique, cast it at me. Mizuki jumped directly into the air and shouted. He didn't hesitate and just struck first. Advertisement. Sasuke was stunned for a moment, then immediately realized something. Si Wei Shen Hai Wu Yin. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Zabuza on the tree had his eyes widened. Is it crazy to unleash fire style ninjutsu on your own people? Also incomprehensible were Naruto, Sakura-chan and Tatsuna. Sasuke, what are you doing? Naruto shouted loudly, then clapped his hands together. Earth style. Earth style wall. Little Sakura also stood in front of Mizuki and began to form seals while looking at Sasuke with a confused look on her face. 2 walls of earth flow rose up in front of Mizuki, successfully blocking Sasuke's great fireball. Mizuki, my teammates are holding me back. Originally, the great fireball appeared and transformed Zabuza. Even if he did not die, he would be seriously injured. But now, only 3 people's chakra was wasted. Master Mizuki, why did you let Mr. Sasuke attack you? And Mr. Sasuke, Mr. Mizuki asked you to attack him, so you attacked him. Sasuke ignored him, instead holding a kunai and focusing on guard. The next moment, the wind sounded. Mizuki shouted. Naruto, Sasuke, get down. The two also realized the danger and immediately got down. A big knife flew over the two people's heads and struck the tree. Zabuza appears. I saw him standing on the handle of the knife, condescending, filled with murderous intent. 3 brats, 1 unknown Chunin, and the Ghost Brothers failed in your hands. It seems that you are not as simple as you seem. But it will be easy for me. Mizuki didn't talk nonsense to him at all, and quickly backed away, putting some distance between him and little Sakura. At the same time, 3 detonating symbols have been activated, so let go of them gently. Repeat the same trick. Zabuza's eyes narrowed. He saw all Mizuki's movements, but he couldn't understand them. The next moment, he changes his form. What? Zabuza felt the scene in front of him suddenly change. When he looked again, he had reached the position where Mizuki was standing just now, and 3 detonating charms exploded. Except for Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura didn't react. In just a moment, the enemy was eliminated. The two people's positions suddenly changed. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Naruto and little Sakura were filled with curiosity. Sasuke looked at it with great enthusiasm, wishing that he was the one who performed the apparition. The explosion ended, but Mizuki discovered that there was no body on the spot, only a puddle of water on the ground. Water body. Mizuki's pupils narrowed. This Zabuza is difficult to deal with. In the river not far away, Zabuza suddenly realized something. No wonder, he just asked the black-haired kid to attack him with fire style. It turns out that he can switch places with others. Fortunately, I was cautious and tested it with water, otherwise I would have been seriously injured by now. In addition, when the clone was hiding in the tree just now, he has already discovered that it is very likely that it has the ability to sense, and the sensing distance is about 30 meters. In an instant, Zabuza had analyzed a large amount of useful information. This person is very dangerous. He is different from the previous enemies. I must be careful. Zabuza no longer looked down upon him, but he didn't feel like he couldn't deal with it. But no matter how weird his abilities are, he is still just a Chunin. Once he runs out of chakra, he will no longer pose any threat to me. He recreated a water clone, then raised his hand. Water style. Mist Shinobi technique. Chapter 26. Zabuza who dare not show his face. Heavy fog filled the air and visibility dropped rapidly. Everything around him became blurry. Alert! Mizuki shouted. What's going on? I can't see anything. Why is there such a heavy fog all of a sudden? Naruto still didn't understand the seriousness of the matter. Mizuki said solemnly. This is not a naturally formed mist, but a ninjutsu that the ninjas of the land of water are good at, the mist shinobi technique. You guys, form a swastika formation to protect Mr. Dazuna. The next battle is not something you can interfere with. The 3 brats realized the seriousness of the matter, protected Dazuna behind them, and stood on guard with kunai in hand. Sasuke even closed his eyes and focused on his ears. In the heavy fog, vision was severely obstructed and both eyes lost their function. Little Sakura asked. Master Mizuki, who is that person? Mizuki said loudly. Momochi Zabuza, an S-class rebel nin from the land of water. Before he defected to Kurigakure, he worked for Mist Shinobi Anbu. He is a man famous in the ninja world for his grandmaster silent killing technique. Naruto was shocked. No, silence. Mizuki. As the name suggests, it's a killing technique that silently and instantly harvests lives. By the time I realize it, I'm already in another world. Little Sakura worried. Aren't we in danger? Anyone who can enter Anbu must be at least a Jonin level expert. It means, Mizuki is just a Chunin and can't protect us. Mizuki smiled and said. Zabuza's strength is neither a special Jonin nor an ordinary Jonin, but has reached the level of elite Jonin. It is only a little weaker than your Kakashi-sensei. Naruto shouted. Master Mizuki, the enemy is so strong, why can you still laugh? Mizuki. Well, it's such a big deal, if it doesn't work, I'll just die. Little Sakura. Hey, don't be ridiculous, what time is it? The fog is getting thicker and thicker, and the atmosphere is getting more and more tense. Suddenly, Zabuza's voice sounded. 8 places. Larynx, spine, lungs, liver, carotid arteries, subclavian arteries, kidneys, heart. So, which key point should I choose? The 3 brats and Tatsuna were so frightened by Zabuza's murderous intent that their bodies became stiff, and they even had terrifying hallucinations of being killed. Sasuke even took a kunai and wanted to stab himself. Mizuki stopped him in time. Can't you bear this murderous intention? Sasuke, you can't get revenge like this. Hatred flashed in Sasuke's eyes, and his fear of murderous intent immediately diminished. Mizuki. Don't worry, you will be safe with me here. Is this really possible? Zabuza's voice sounded again. Mizuki took action directly. He fired a kunai from his hand, passed through the thick fog, and nailed Dazuna behind him. Everyone turned around in shock, only to see Zabuza who was about to chop with a big sword, with a kunai stuck in his chest. Under such a thick fog, your attacks are so precise. It's true, you master sensory ninjutsu. As soon as he finished speaking, water began to flow out of the kunai's open wound. It is the body of water. Mizuki was not happy after getting rid of a water clone. He turned around and looked 30 meters away, where there was a river. On the river, 3 streams of water surged out of the water and turned into human shapes, taking on Zabuza's appearance. They are all water bodies. Advertisement. Hiding underwater. Mizuki frowned. He kept talking loudly, extending the effective range of his echolocation. All scenes within a 50-meter radius were presented in his mind. The trouble is, echolocation can't detect what's going on underwater. The position of Zabuza's body can only be determined based on the position where the water body appears, but it cannot directly use the shapeshifting to attack Zabuza. He was afraid of my transformation, so he didn't dare to show up in his true form. He just tested it with water. We must find a way to draw out his true form and then kill him with one blow. His brain was spinning rapidly, and he soon had an idea. 3 kunai were shot towards Zabuza's water body, but they were all easily dodged. It's just Chunin, your kunai throwing skills are terrible. If I try to hide, you can't even attack me. You don't need that kind of position-swapping ninjutsu, you can't even touch my clone. Zabuza mocked coldly. Little Sakura reacted very quickly and said, Master Mizuki, he is forcing you to use the transposition ninjutsu to consume your chakra. He is Jonin and you are Chunin. He has more chakra, but you can't use up his. Mizuki smiled bitterly and said, you have to use it up if you can't use it up. The detonating talisman's shape-shifting players reappeared. Disapparating 3 times in a row, the 3 water bodies were killed before they got close. Who? Mizuki hunched over and gasped for air, looking like he was exhausted. Master Mizuki, how are you? Naruto asked worriedly. Mizuki pointed in a direction and said, you protect Mr. Dazuna and retreat in that direction first. After I break up, I can continue to attack a few more times. No, we have to fight alongside you. Naruto said hurriedly. Sasuke. Idiot, we can't do anything here, but it will only hinder us. Let's go first. Without our ties, Mizuki can leave the battle at any time. Naruto was unconvinced, but he also understood that Sasuke's words were right. So, the 3 imps protected Tazuna and retreated in the direction pointed by Mizuki. At the same time, Mizuki killed 2 of the 3 clones that Zabu summoned. At this time, Mizuki looked pale, looked sluggish, and was a little unsteady on his feet. But even so, Zabuza is still cautious, and until now his body has been hiding underwater without showing up. Am I not acting realistic enough? Mizuki doubted his acting skills. Seeing that the 4 Sasukes had walked out of the thick fog, Mizuki once again used the detonating talisman to change his form and kill Zabuza's last water clone. Then dragging his tired body, he staggered towards Sasuke and the others. Even so, Zabuza still didn't come out of the water. You're too cautious. Mizuki was really speechless. Soon, he caught up with the 4 of them and fell to the ground with a thud. Master Mizuki, how are you? Naruto and Sasuke hurried over and helped Mizuki up, one on the left and the other on the right. It's okay, it's just that the chakra was consumed too much. Sasuke asked. Where's Zabuza, is it solved? Mizuki shook his head. He was too cautious. He kept using his water body to pretend to attack. He didn't know where he was hiding. Even if I ran out of chakra, he didn't dare to show his face. Little Sakura. Then, will he catch up? Mizuki smiled and said. I'm just a coward, I don't dare to chase. Besides, I ran out of chakra just to show him. In fact, I still have some chakra left, which can be used 3 times. Dazuna. Then don't worry. Mizuki. Let's go to Mr. Dazuna's house. I need to take a good rest. Advertisement. The 5 people left quickly along the road, and Mizuki had a faint smile on his lips. After the 5 people walked away, a person walked out from behind the tree on the roadside, wearing Kurigakure's Anbu mask. After taking a look at the direction Mizuki and others left, the man turned back and quickly came to the river. Zabuza-sama. Zabuza rose from the water and stood on the water. How long will you wear this mask, Shiro? Bai took off his mask, revealing a prosperous and beautiful face. Unfortunately, it's a boy. Have they left? Zabuza asked. Shiro nodded. Let's go. The Chunin named Mizuki had excessive chakra consumption and was being helped to walk. I overheard on the side and he said that she was in disguise and still had 3 attacks left. Zabuza sneered. I'm just telling you. He has the ability to perceive. If you were hiding aside, he would have discovered you long ago. Bai. I know, but he didn't do anything to me, which means that his chakra is indeed exhausted. Zabuza. Don't be careless. His ability is too weird. Combined with the detonating talisman, he has the ability to kill with one hit. This is why I have never dared to attack with my body. He's obviously a Chunin, but he's more dangerous than most of the Jonin I've faced before. Bai asked, since it's dangerous, it's better to give up on Cardo's commission. Haku. Zabuza yelled, interrupting Haku's words. The money given by Cardo is very generous. We need this money, so we can't give it up. When the time comes, you and I will take action together. But we can't strike first and let Cardo's warriors rush in front and consume his chakra with human lives. When his chakra is exhausted, there will be no threat. Next time, he will die in my hands. Mizuki and his party soon arrived at Dazuna's house. Mr. Dazna, when do you plan to start building the bridge? Dazna. It will take me 1 day to gather the old guys and 2 days to prepare the wood. It is tentatively planned to start building the bridge in 3 days. Mizuki nodded and looked at Naruto and the others. In the past 3 days, you will practice by yourself nearby. Naruto asked. Then what is Master Mizuki doing these 3 days? Mizuki. I can also practice. I have an idea for a ninjutsu. Naruto asked curiously. What ninjutsu is it? Is it powerful? Little Sakura and Sasuke also looked curious. Mizuki smiled. That's a ninjutsu developed by 4th Hokage. It's very strong and cruel. Well, when I succeed in practicing, I will find an opportunity to teach you. It was still early, so Mizuki went to the market and bought a lot of balloons and rubber balls. Rasengan, I've been waiting for a long time. In the village, with Anbu watching and the 3rd generation's telescope technique, he did not dare to practice Rasengan. But now, there is no such worry. Although there are a few annoying guys secretly following from Konoha to here, their purpose is to protect Naruto and Sasuke. When I practice, I am separated from Naruto and the others, so I don't have to worry about being discovered. As for the apparition, just expose it. It will happen sooner or later anyway. At this time, Konoha Village, Hokage office. 3rd generation murmured. A ninjutsu that can instantly switch places with people, combined with the detonating talisman, no one dares to show his face even if he doesn't zap. No wonder. He is just a chunin with ordinary qualifications. How can he develop such a powerful space ninjutsu that is comparable to the Flying Thunder God? Could it be that Chakra deceived me about controlling Dan? Or maybe he got other things in Uzushio village. Chapter 27. Rasengan. Click. The office door was pushed open and Danzo walked in. 3rd generation frowned slightly, not wanting to tolerate Danzo's rude behavior every time he came in without knocking. Danzo, can you stop every time? Hiruzen, do you really think you can kill Mizuki with Zabuza's hand? Danzo interrupted directly. 3rd generation snorted, feeling increasingly unhappy. Although Mizuki's ninjutsu is dangerous, once it's exposed, there are ways to deal with it. As long as Zabuza follows the previous tactics and uses his water body to consume Mizuki's chakra while hiding in the dark, there will be no doubt about the result. Intelligence is very important. One's own intelligence must be prevented from being leaked, and the enemy's intelligence must be obtained by all means. Stronger than Hidan, with immortality and death see Ping's blood, killing a leak John and Asuma is like killing a chicken. As a result, because his ability information was leaked, he was buried alive by Shikamaru, who was only at the Chunin level. This shows the importance of intelligence. Mizuki has been hiding very well, but when he encountered Zabuza today, Mizuki's echolocation only opened to a range of 30 meters, and he did not find the 3 Konoha Anbu hiding 50 meters behind him. By the time it was discovered, it was already too late. The leak of Mizuki's information is a good thing for 3rd generation and Danzo. Danzo sneered. Can you guarantee that Mizuki, not Zabuza, will be the one who exhausts the chakra first? The 3rd generation was silent. Yeah, no guarantees. Mizuki's castle is so deep that he has mastered the space and time ninjutsu comparable to the Flying Thunder God, but he has always hidden it. Who can guarantee that he is not hiding more? What do you want to say? 3rd generation asked solemnly. Danzo. Needless to say, I don't need to say more about the dangers of the Muji ninjutsu that switches places with others, combined with the detonating talisman. Even if you fight against it, your life will be in danger. The Chunin exam is about to begin. Do you think Orochimaru will come? If he joins forces with Orochimaru, will Konoha be able to withstand it? The 3rd generation's complexion became ugly. Hiruzen, we can't delay any longer, we must use the power of thunder to completely eliminate him. Otherwise, the consequences will be endless. 3rd generation stood up, looked out the window, and puffed on its pipe several times. After a long time, he sighed, turned his back to Danzo, and said, now that Naruto and Sasuke are by his side, we can't act rashly to prevent him from doing anything drastic. Even if we don't kill him, we have to wait until Team 7 returns to the village before taking action. Danzo is on fire. Hiruzen, why are you always like this? You're still unwilling to take action against such a dangerous person. Aren't you afraid of something happening? 3rd generation. I have my own opinion on this matter, you don't need to say anything. In addition, you are not allowed to attack him privately. Danzo sneered, thinking that it was already at this point, why are you still pretending? He said he would not let Genbu do it, but in his heart he wished Genbu would do it sooner. 3rd generation glanced at Danzo and said solemnly, Danzo, this time is not a joke. He has something in him that I need to live. Danzo frowned and said, isn't it just a ninjutsu similar to Flying Thunder God? Is it so important? There are so many techniques in the Book of Ceilings, and one more of him is not much. Advertisement. 3rd generation. It's not ninjutsu, it's something else. In short, you must not take action at all, otherwise don't blame me for being unkind. 3rd generation narrowed its eyes, exuding strong oppression. Danzo was shocked, knowing that 3rd generation was serious this time. HMPH, I won't get involved in this matter at all. You can handle it yourself. After Danzo said that, he turned around and left. Third generation looked at the prosperous Konoha outside the window and murmured. A civilian ninja with ordinary qualifications has no talent, no resources, and no one to guide him, but he has gained such powerful power. What exactly did you find in the kingdom of Whirlpool? Is the chakra control pill really only useful for Senju and Uzumaki bloodlines? Returning to his seat, he tapped his fingers on the table. The next moment, an Anbu appeared and knelt on one knee. Third generation ordered. Send a message to the elephant in the land of waves and ask him to pay attention to Mizuki's ninjutsu release, especially the seals. In the country of waves, in the forest near Dazuna's house. Mizuki holds a water balloon in his right hand, and chakra overflows from his palm, stirring the water inside the ball. He is learning Rasengan. I learned it and plan to call Naruto. Follow the way Jiraiya taught Naruto in the original book. The first stage of learning Rasengan is to spin the chakra. And it has to be random rotation in all directions. Then, let's try it. Hundreds of strands of chakra, under the precise control of Mizuki, rotate in different directions, causing the water in the water polo to rotate irregularly. On the surface of the water ball, bulges quickly appeared, and the bulges became more and more obvious, as if there were hundreds of bullets fired outwards from inside. With a pop sound, the water ball burst and water flowed all over the floor. This is too simple. The stronger the chakra control ability, the higher the efficiency of learning ninjutsu will be. But Mizuki didn't expect that the efficiency would be so high. Mizuki tried a few more water polo balls, a few times with both hands, and succeeded easily, becoming more and more proficient. You have already controlled the chakra to rotate randomly, then come down and it will be powerful. Replace the water balloon with a rubber ball. The water balloon has a thin skin and is easy to break, but the rubber ball is very thick and has no water inside, so it is not easy to break. Holding the rubber ball, chakra overflows from the palm of the hand and rotates randomly inside the rubber ball. On the surface of the rubber ball, bumps began to appear, but they were not obvious. Not enough chakra. Mizuki injected more chakra, and the next second, the rubber ball exploded with a bang. It's as easy as eating and drinking. It seems that A-level ninjutsu is not difficult for me. I tried a few more balls, and all were successful. The next step is the last step. In the palm of the right hand, chakra gathers and a blue chakra ball is formed. But it only lasted for 3 seconds before it dispersed uncontrollably. Tried a second time and it still lasted 3 seconds. Unstable. Mizuki frowned and thought, how can we maintain stability and prevent it from disintegrating on its own? In other words, what is the cause of instability? He condensed a Rasengan again, and used the dynamic vision of his eyes to ultimate, staring at the chakra flow trajectory in the Rasengan. Advertisement. Soon this Rasengan dispersed, and he formed a new one and continued to observe. After repeating this for more than 10 times, he finally got the clue. Chakras with different rotation directions will cause chakra disorder when they collide due to conflicting trajectories. I need to refine the control of the chakra a little more. I want the chakra to rotate irregularly, but also to make the chakra run in an orderly manner to prevent collisions with each other. Mizuki started redesigning the chakra spin course. After the improvement, he performed it again, and this time the Rasengan lasted for 10 seconds. Not enough. He continued to improve. The duration is extending. 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. This time, it should be perfect. He cast Rasengan again, which lasted for 60 seconds, and showed no signs of disintegrating. Nodding, Mizuki smiled. The next moment, he threw the Rasengan forward. The high-speed spinning Rasengan brought up strong winds and finally hit a big tree 30 meters away. Puff puff. This is the sound made by the bark and trunk of the tree being destroyed by Rasengan. When the Rasengan chakra is exhausted, a cone-shaped pit 1 meter in diameter and half a meter deep has appeared at the root of the tree. Haha, this Rasengan, have already introduced the new. Rasengan was developed by 4th Hokage based on the principles of the tailed beast bomb. Combined with the flying thunder god technique, 4th generation killed countless enemies. It's a pity that 4th generation failed to throw the Rasengan out to attack the enemy before dying. What Minato didn't do, Mizuki did. And it took less than an hour to go from knowing nothing to being a master. Rasengan has been developed successfully. Next, we will find an opportunity to teach it to Naruto. I don't know what the system will return. He was looking forward to it but not in a hurry. There are 3 Anbu who have been secretly watching Naruto and the others. Of course, Mizuki will not teach Naruto Rasengan openly. Even if he is exposed by apparating, Rasengan cannot be exposed. At least, it cannot be exposed for the time being. In the next 3 days, let's practice the air stepping technique to perfection. It has been delayed for a long time. The practice of stepping on the air was intermittently, which wasted a lot of time. Especially the previous mission of exterminating bandits wasted half a month. The Yonquan point on the sole of the foot has been fully exercised under the influence of the medicine. It is just a matter of the last few days before the heat is enough. 3rd generation will definitely attack me again before or during the Chunin exam. If it's a shady means, I don't care. I'm afraid that he will openly fabricate evidence, label me as a spy, and force me to stand against Konoha. If that happens, Mizuki will have to face the entire Konoha ninja. With his current strength, it is far from enough to fight against the entire Konoha. If they were really matched up, At most a few of them would die together, and he himself would be finished in minutes. Therefore, the art of stepping on the air must be practiced as soon as possible. Even if I am forced to defect by then, I won't be surrounded and killed in Konoha village. Chakra spurted out from the soles of his feet, and Mizuki's body slowly rose, floating around in the forest. A slight stinging pain indicates that the Yonquan point is not strong enough to withstand the continuous impact of the chakra. But it's coming soon. Chapter 28. The Intruding Orochimaru. 3 days flew by. In the evening, the sun set and heavy fog appeared on the sea. 2 sea turtles are rolling and playing on the sea surface, planning to have babies. Suddenly, in the thick fog above our heads, a dark shadow floated past, silently, like a ghost, which scared the male turtle and trembled. Haha, I no longer have any discomfort on the soles of my feet. The art of stepping on the air is finally done. In the thick fog, cheerful laughter came out, which scared the 2 turtles and hurriedly dived deeper. The black shadow floated across hundreds of meters of sea and landed gently on the shore. It was Mizuki. Finally I can fly freely in the sky. The speed is adjustable. The slowest it can be suspended in the air and the fastest can reach about 300 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to the speed of a high-speed rail. He wanted to fly faster, but due to the limitations of his meridians, the chakra output could not continue to increase. Moreover, the faster you fly, the greater the air resistance. In fact, 300 kilometers per hour is not considered slow anymore. If chakra is consumed, flying at the highest speed will consume more than half of the chakra in 10 minutes. After calculation, at full speed, 0.01 calories of chakra are consumed per second. Not much. With his total amount of 11.3 calories of chakra, he can fly at maximum speed for nearly 20 minutes, and can fly hundreds of kilometers at a time. With the Rasengan that can be released remotely, and the air stepping technique, I finally have the power to gain a foothold in the ninja world. Since traveling through time, Mizuki has been on tenterhooks, taking every step he takes and looking at it 3 times, for fear that he will be doomed if he is not careful. As his strength increased, his tense nerves could finally relax. Now, even if he is on the opposite side of Konoha, he is not afraid at all. Of course, if he could stay in Konoha, he would not leave. Who has the most geniuses in Konoha? Well, it's almost dinner time. At this moment, there was a roar in the distance, accompanied by strong chakra fluctuations. The next moment, the thick fog was dispersed by the lingering aftermath of the battle. Mizuki saw a giant snake coiled in the forest. 100 meters away from the giant snake, the orange-red nine-tails chakra was swirling wildly. Snake. And there was a vague figure standing on the snake's head. The only one who can summon such a giant snake is Orochimaru. Why is Orochimaru here? Mizuki was shocked. Has the butterfly effect caused by my own time travel started to take effect? It must be for Sasuke. This is something Mizuki definitely doesn't want to see. Sasuke is a cash cow and was taken away by Orochimaru. Wouldn't he lose 3 high multiple return opportunities every month? Trouble. Before Zabuza can solve it, another more pervert Orochimaru pops up. Mizuki ran quickly towards the forest. At the same time, Naruto took out the super soldier food pills that Naruto had returned from his storage ring and ate them. Super soldier food pills can restore 10 calories of chakra in 1 minute, allowing a person to go without eating or drinking for 3 days, and permanently increase the chakra recovery speed by 0.3 calories per minute. Facing Orochimaru, Mizuki did not dare to be careless, and his condition must be replenished. The body consumes most of the chakra and recovers quickly. In the forest, the 3 Konoha Anbu, Elephant, Vermilion, and Eagle, confront Orochimaru. Although they were 3 against 1, the 3 Anbu were already at a disadvantage in terms of momentum. Advertisement. The murderous aura emanating from Orochimaru's body made the 3 of them feel like they were standing in the middle of strong winds and waves. Orochimaru, why are you here? Zhang's tone was solemn, and the eyes under the mask were full of fear. He wears a cat face mask and is considered the strongest among Anbu. But facing Orochimaru, he had no confidence. He knew very well how strong Orochimaru was. Hokage Kakashi, who was the captain of Anbu back then, couldn't even make a single move under Orochimaru. Orochimaru stood on top of the giant snake, condescending. Sleek shawl, black hair, pale face, purple eye shadow and unique cold-blooded vertical pupils in his eyes make people feel frightened at a glance. Orochimaru has no interest in these 3 Anbu. His eyes looked at the 3 figures behind Anbu. At this time, Naruto, Sasuke and little Sakura were all in a daze, with frightened eyes and trembling limbs. The 3 of them, shocked by Orochimaru's murderous intent, suffered severe psychological trauma. Orochimaru looked at Sasuke, a smile appeared on his face unconsciously, and a disgusting long tongue stuck out of his mouth, stirring in the air. This look, in Anbu's eyes, made them mistakenly believe that Orochimaru's target was Ninetails Jinchuriki. Eagle, take Naruto and Sasuke and leave quickly. Akane and I are here to hold him down. Shang ordered. Eagle remained silent, turned around, picked up Naruto and Sasuke, and left quickly. Jinchuriki is the most important thing and cannot be missed. Uchiha Sasuke is also the key target of protection assigned by 3rd generation. As for Haruno Sakura, she is just a civilian ninja, and if she dies, she dies. Orochimaru didn't care at all. As this yellow-haired guy the Nine-Tails kid. Unfortunately, I am only interested in Uchiha, but he is not the purpose of my coming here today. I came to see Mizuki. Where is he? The eagle did not stop, but made a three-pointer faster. Who knows if Orochimaru's words are true or not, it is safest to take Naruto away. He was carrying 2 people, but his speed was still very fast, and he was hundreds of meters away in a short time. But at this moment, a strange young man with white clothes and white hair, 2 dots of cinnabar between his eyebrows, and a purple bow knot belt around his waist, blocked his way. I am Kagaya Kimimaro, a subordinate of Lord Orochimaru. Master Orochimaru needs to use the 2 of them to lure Mizuki-kun out. I hope you will put them down. The road ahead on Ying's side is blocked, and Shang and Zhu have noticed it. But there was nothing they could do. It would be great if the 2 of them could hold Orochimaru down, and they didn't have any extra energy to help the eagle. The 2 looked at each other and nodded. Orochimaru, you are an S-class rebel nin from Konoha village. Since we met you today, we will do our best to capture you. Shang said loudly. Haha, Orochimaru sneered. Just you. Zhu shouted. Don't underestimate people, we are not ordinary ninjas, we are Konoha elite jonin who have inherited the will of fire. Ha, ridiculous will of fire. Orochimaru sneered. Shang takes the lead and forms seals quickly. Lightning style. 4 pillars. Quote. 4 huge pillars rose from the 4 corners of the giant snake, surrounding the giant snake in the middle. Lightning flashed on the pillar, and the giant snake was scorched black by the electricity, roaring crazily. Lightning style. 16 pillars of restraint. 12 more pillars appeared and combined together to form a closed house, trapping the giant snake inside. The interior was filled with electric light, and the giant snake screamed terribly. Finally, there was a bang sound. Because of the injury, the giant snake automatically released the summoning technique and returned to Raichi Cave. Zhang's eyes did not relax, but continued to form seals. Fire style. Unglazed. Advertisement. In the house, fire appeared out of thin air, like a furnace, turning the interior into a world of flames. Ah, Orochimaru's screams were heard. Zhu asked. Is it solved? Shang looked solemn and said. I don't know, but Orochimaru, one of the Sannin, shouldn't be so easy to deal with. The 16 thunder pillars dispersed, only to see a charred corpse lying on the ground. Zhu Shi said. Burned to death. Shang frowned, feeling something was wrong. Be careful, he may not be dead. As soon as they finished speaking, the 2 saw the skin on the back of the corpse broken open, a hand coming out, then the head, and then the whole body. The scene was slimy and disgusting at one point. Orochimaru flow body replacement technique. When Shang and Zhu saw this scene, they couldn't help but feel fear in their hearts. The little Sakura behind them, who had finally escaped Orochimaru's murderous control, was so frightened by this scene that she screamed, rolled her eyes and fainted. Haha, not bad ninjutsu. However, you are too naive to use this kind of ninjutsu against me. Originally I didn't plan to do anything to you, but since you took action first, I won't be polite. Anyway, I will destroy Konoha sooner or later. I will kill a few of you first. Then the success rate of Konoha's collapse plan will be higher. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue and stirred it, then slowly raised his slender hands. I saw him, on all fours, with his mouth wide open. One by one, lion majesty came out of Orochimaru's mouth, and in a blink of an eye, they were densely covered on the ground, spreading towards Shang and Zhu like waves. Haha, in the formation of 10,000 snakes, die in pain from the bites of 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru sneered. Shang quickly formed a seal and shouted, fire style. Great fireball technique. The great fireball erupted from its mouth and crashed into the snakes, burning a large piece to death. But there are too many lion majesty, and a great fireball is useless at all, and the empty space is immediately refilled. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Fire style. Great fireball technique. If one great fireball isn't enough, get a few more. Earth style. Clay falling. Zhu Yi took action, and an otherworld channel appeared in the sky. A large amount of clay was summoned and fell among the snakes. A large number of lion majesty were trapped in the clay. However, there are still countless lion majesties swimming around. Kill them all. If this continues, our chakra will soon be exhausted, and we will no longer be able to resist. Ignore lion majesty and just attack Orochimaru from a distance. Lion majesty was summoned by him. Kill him and lion majesty will naturally disappear. So, the 2 ninjutsu began to greet Orochimaru. Orochimaru saw this, sneered, and said lightly, innocent. He raised his hands, preparing to form the seal. At this moment, he paused and turned his head to look in one direction. Although there were dense trees obstructing him, Orochimaru still felt a strange chakra aura. Oh, did you finally show up? The movements of his hands continued unabated and he began to form seals. Mizuki-kun, today I will show you my strength, Orochimaru. I want you to become my subordinate willingly and serve me. Chapter 29. Cooperation. Earth style. Earth Dragon Ball. Zhu shouted after completing the seal. In front of him, an earthen dragon head protruded and sprayed out a large number of earthen dragon bullets. These clay bombs are the size of basketballs, extremely fast and have a long range. Orochimaru sneered. This kind of ninjutsu also wants to hurt me. At the same time, the elephant seal is also completed. Fire style. Fire bullets. Fire came out of his mouth, not targeting Orochimaru, but the Earth Dragon Bullet Sakane unleashed. The flames clung to the Earth Dragon Bullet. Fire bombs have short range and slow speed. But after being attached to the Earth Dragon Bullet, these weaknesses were immediately made up for. Earth and fire bombs flew quickly towards Orochimaru. In the woods nearby, Mizuki is watching the battle. Although he was confused, Orochimaru actually made a special trip just for himself. However, he has no interest in joining Orochimaru. There is no rush to show up. Orochimaru and Konoha Anbu fight life and death, it is none of his business. It's best if all three Anbus die, so that third generation can feel sorry for themselves. These two Anbu are quite capable. Combine Earth style and Fire style to perform combined ninjutsu. The Earth Dragon Bullet is weak in lethality, but has a long range and is fast. Even if it hits the enemy, it will not cause effective damage. The Fire Bomb is strong in lethality, but the short range is slow and the enemy can easily dodge. But by combining the two and complementing each other, the shortcomings are overcome and the power is doubled. In the original anime, the third generation used this move when fighting Orochimaru. However, the third generation used it alone, but here it is used by two people. What a pity. Ninjutsu of this level poses no threat to Orochimaru. The next moment, Orochimaru was hit by several earth fire bombs and let out a shrill scream. In the blink of an eye, it burned to ashes. But Shang and Zhu didn't relax, because the formation of 10,000 snakes was still there, which meant that Orochimaru was not dead at all. Seeing the snakes getting closer and closer, the elephant formed seals again. Lightning style. Walk on the ground. He pressed his hands on the ground, and the lightning spread along the ground to all sides. Films and films of Lion Majesty were electrocuted to death, and in a blink of an eye, all the Lion Majesty were lying dead. The formation of 10,000 snakes is broken. But the price is also high. He was hunched over, gasping for air, and his legs were shaking. Zhu, my chakra is exhausted. Even Jonin couldn't hold on after releasing multiple ninjutsu with great power and wide range. The elephant ate a soldier's food pill to restore chakra, while his eyes scanned the surroundings, alert. Zhu stood aside, his hands already raised, ready to form seals at any time. Suddenly, the elephant shouted, "Here we come." No need to remind, Zhu has already seen it. Among the pieces of dead snakes, one snake suddenly moved, its mouth opened, and Orochimaru emerged from it. It was so sticky that Mizuki almost vomited from the overnight meal. It's so disgusting. He was a little overwhelmed and curious at the same time. How did Orochimaru hide in the belly of such a thin snake? Orochimaru looked at where Mizuki was hiding, and laughed in a hoarse voice. I've seen enough, then, these two people are useless. Advertisement. Latent Shadow Snake Hands. Orochimaru raised his hand, and several arm-thick snakes emerged from his sleeves, shooting towards Shang and Zhu. Zhu reacted quickly and quickly formed seals with his hands. Earth Style. Earth Flow Wall. Orochimaru sneered. Naive. Although the Earth Flow Wall blocked the front, the snakes released by Orochimaru were not dead. They could be seen directly bypassing the Earth Flow Wall and entangling Shang and Zhu at extremely fast speeds. But the next moment, the elephant turned into lightning and dispersed, and Zhu turned into a clay figure. Thunder Clone and Earth Clone. The Earth Flow Wall blocked part of Orochimaru's field of vision, so that when Orochimaru discovered it, the two of them had already run away. Orochimaru did not chase, but turned to look at the forest, and then at the unconscious little Sakura on the ground. Trash without talent does not deserve to live in this world. Latent Shadow Snake Hand. The arm transformed into Lion Majesty and bit Sakura. The next moment, little Sakura disappeared, replaced by Mizuki holding a kunai. Aha! Blood spurted out and the snake's head was cut off. Orochimaru looked at Mizuki, a smile appeared on his lips, and he opened his mouth to speak hoarsely. Do you know what eternal life is, Mizuki-kun? It was the old religious leader who opened his mouth. Mizuki looked at Orochimaru coldly and said, You said this to Uchiha Itachi. You said it to me again today. Do you want to take over my body? What a pity, I'm not Uchiha, I'm just a civilian ninja with ordinary blood. Orochimaru's pupils shrank suddenly, and a panic surged in his heart. How did you know? Kabuto told you. No, even Kabuto doesn't know about the conversation between Itachi and I during the Genjutsu. Could it be that you are related to Itachi? Orochimaru suddenly panicked. Even suspected, Uchiha Itachi is nearby. Haha, how'd I know? You don't need to know. Anyway, I know more than you think. Orochimaru's face was gloomy, and the eyes he looked at Mizuki began to be filled with murderous intent. Mizuki smiled and said, It's not that easy to kill me. I advise you not to waste your efforts. In fact, I have no interest in being your enemy. We can even cooperate. Orochimaru sneered. To cooperate with me, it depends on whether you have the qualifications. Latent Shadow Snake Hand. They took action as soon as they disagreed. Of course, Mizuki moves faster. Mizuki's super dynamic vision gives him powers of observation that are far beyond ordinary people. Every move of Orochimaru is seen by Mizuki. It's not easy to get Orochimaru's approval. Then, let's try the new ninjutsu. In his right hand, the Rasengan formed instantly and was thrown towards Orochimaru. The latent shadow snake hand exploded the moment it came into contact with Rasengan. Rasengan remained strong and continued to shoot towards Orochimaru. Looking at the Rasengan flying towards him, Orochimaru frowned slightly. This is the fourth Hokage's technique, how did you know it? The next moment, Rasengan appeared and hit Orochimaru's abdomen, bursting out with powerful power. Amid the screams, Orochimaru's body was torn apart, his chest and abdomen completely blown apart, leaving only his neck, head and legs, which fell to the ground. Advertisement. If he were an ordinary person, he would have died long ago. But Uncle Snake is best at saving lives. Now, am I qualified? Mizuki asked calmly. The broken corpse on the ground suddenly opened its mouth, and a brand new Orochimaru came out. Another sticky and disgusting scene. Unexpectedly, you actually learned the Rasengan of the fourth Hokage. The third generation has been targeting you. Where did you learn the Rasengan? Forget it, it's nothing to be curious about. However, you are still not qualified just by relying on the Rasengan. Mizuki said. So, what about this? He raised his right hand again, and Rasengan appeared again, but this was not the end. He controlled the Rasengan further away from the palm of his hand, and then injected the wind attribute chakra into it. A light blue high-speed rotating shuriken has taken shape. What? Not only did you learn the Rasengan, but you also infused it with the wind attribute chakra nature transformation, which even the fourth generation did not do. The power of this move has reached S level. How did you do it? Orochimaru finally changed his expression. He quickly backed away, biting the fingers of his right hand and drawing a bloody mark on the palm of his left hand. Then he pressed his hands on the ground and shouted, summoning technique. Triple Rashomon. As soon as he finished speaking, 3 huge Rashomon gates rose up from the ground, like 3 hills side by side, blocking Orochimaru. The Rasen Shuriken thrown in Mizuki's hand was like a tailed beast bomb, violently streaking across the ground. The first Rashomon gate shattered in an instant, and then the second one failed to hold on. Until the third door, it barely held on for 1 second, and then was knocked down. But the spiral shuriken's flight path was also changed by the third door, and it drew diagonally upward toward the sky. Orochimaru had cold sweat on his forehead and fear in his eyes. The next moment, a smile bloomed from the corner of his mouth. He stood up and looked at Mizuki and said, I admire you very much, but you happen to be targeted in Konoha, so I plan to accept you as my subordinate. But when I saw you today, your strength far exceeded my expectations. Cooperation is okay. So tell me, what can you bring to me? Mizuki. Konoha collapse plan. When necessary, I can take action to help you deal with the third generation. Orochimaru was even more shocked. He couldn't understand why Mizuki even knew about the plan to collapse Konoha. Did Sunagakur leak the news, or was his sound ninja village completely infiltrated by Mizuki? Where does an ordinary chunin in Konoha get this information? Hehe, third generation is already old. I can kill him without anyone else's help. Mizuki said. Your old classmate, Jiraiya, is about to return to the village. By then, you may have to face a 1 versus 2 situation. Orochimaru frowned. Mizuki added. Don't worry, third generation will eventually die in your hands, and I won't compete with you. Orochimaru stared at Mizuki with his eyes, trying to read something on Mizuki's face. But Mizuki looked calm and did not give any useful information. This is not enough, I also want Uchiha Sasuke. Orochimaru took the initiative to mention Sasuke. Mizuki. Sasuke is also very important to me. I won't give it up. When the time comes, each will rely on his or her own abilities. Orochimaru was silent for a moment and said, What do you want? The key moment has come. Mizuki has been waiting for this moment for a long time. I want ninjutsu scrolls, no matter what ninjutsu it is, no matter what level it is, in short, the more the better. Besides, those 3 Anbus are following me all the time and are making me upset. Please help them get rid of them. Chapter 30. The battle is over, Sasuke is planted with a curse seal. Your request is a bit too much. Orochimaru was slightly dissatisfied. Mizuki. Killing 3 Anbu will make the Konoha collapse plan easier to execute, so it will not only be good for me, but also good for you. Orochimaru was noncommittal and said, After defecting to Konoha, do you want to join my sound ninja village? Mizuki smiled. When did I say I was going to defect? Killing the third generation means killing the third generation, and defecting means defecting. These are 2 different things. I prefer living in the sun than in a dark cave. Haha, under the sun. Orochimaru glanced at Mizuki thoughtfully. The next moment, he opened his mouth, spit out a scroll, and threw it towards Mizuki. The scroll was covered in slime, which made Mizuki's scalp tingle. He turned sideways and let the scroll fly past and fall to the ground. Orochimaru didn't care and said, This is the ninjutsu you want. There are not many, only 3. If you want more ninjutsu, you have to wait until the third generation dies. As he spoke, his body began to sink and disappeared into the soil. I will take care of those 3 Anbu, as an apology for my rash interruption this time. I hope that my cooperation with Mizuki-kun will be happy for both parties. Feeling Orochimaru's chakra fade away, Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. His right hand was tucked into his sleeve, trembling slightly. The palm of his right hand was covered with scars, and severe pain penetrated deep into the bones. The spiral shuriken is a double-edged sword. I deliberately kept it as far away from my hand as possible, but it was still injured so badly. Before you hurt others, hurt yourself first. In the anime, Naruto does not dare to use the Rasenshuriken without entering Sage mode. Even the powerful physiques of the Uzumaki clan can't stand it, let alone an ordinary person like Mizuki with an average physique. The triple Rashomen's defense is still strong. It's not that Mizuki has nothing to do with triple Rashomen. It's very simple. With 2 transformations, Orochimaru can be moved to the front of Rashomen and face the Rasenshuriken. But Mizuki knew that even if he did this, Orochimaru would still not die. To kill Orochimaru, 2 conditions must be met. First, force out his true form, the Yamada no Orochi, and then kill the Yamada no Orochi and completely turn it into ashes, leaving not a single scale behind. Second, clear all curse marks. Only this can truly kill Orochimaru, leaving him without the possibility of resurrection. The first point is relatively easy, but the second point is really difficult. Who knows how many curse seals Orochimaru left in the ninja world? It can be said that it is basically impossible to kill Orochimaru. Fortunately, I was fooled. Otherwise, if I had continued to attack, I would have had no choice but to run away. Mizuki sighed in his heart. His current attack methods are only Rasengan, Rasenshuriken, Apparition and Explosive Talisman. These are very effective against ordinary ninjas. But it is difficult to pose any threat to Orochimaru. The best way to deal with Orochimaru is Genjutsu. I don't know if there is any illusion in this scroll. Looking at the scroll on the ground, Mizuki's hand is neither stretched nor stretched. It's so disgusting. It's better to wash it first. Holding the scroll between 2 wooden sticks, he came to a small river and threw the scroll into the river to wash it. Ninjutsu scrolls are made of special materials and are not afraid of water. At least, the surface is definitely waterproof. After washing it several times, Mizuki took out the scroll and unfolded it on the ground. Advertisement. The first technique that caught his eye was the summoning technique. Mizuki. Okay. Not bad. I don't know what kind of rewards they will get if they teach summoning technique to Naruto and the others. Advanced summoning technique. Summoning without a contract. Am looking forward to. Let's look at the second technique, Naraku Met technique. Narakumi technique, AD-level illusion, allows the opponent to see horrific scenes that they don't want to see in their hearts. In the anime, during the survival drill of Team 7, Kakashi used this technique on little Sakura, causing little Sakura to see Sasuke's death and suffered severe mental trauma and fell into a coma. During the Chunin exam, Sasuke and Sakura encountered Orochimaru in the Forest of Death. They were hit by the Narakumi technique and saw their own miserable state when they were about to die, so that they could not move their bodies. HMPH, I was just thinking about an illusion, and here it is. Let's look at the third technique again. 5 elements seal. Mizuki raised his eyebrows. He couldn't help but wonder if there was any other deep meaning in these 3 techniques given by Orochimaru. But at this moment, thousands of meters away, a strange chakra suddenly appeared. This chakra, Mizuki's expression changed slightly. From this chakra, he felt various negative emotions such as hatred, anger, and blood. This is not the chakra that a human being should have at all. This is Nine Tails chakra. What's going on? Why did Naruto suddenly burst into Nine Tails chakra? He raised his head and looked in that direction, only to see the orange chakra hovering upward. Its powerful malice could be clearly seen even from thousands of miles away. The intense aftermath of the battle spread to all sides, causing trees to fall in pieces. Putting away the scroll, Mizuki moved quickly in Naruto's direction. By the time he arrived, the battle was over. It was devastated, with bones on the ground in pieces, countless trees toppled, and the terrain severely damaged. At this time, Orochimaru pressed his hand on Naruto's abdomen, and the Nine Tails chakra emanating from Naruto quickly dissipated. Naruto was unconscious, and a sealing rune appeared on his abdomen, which was the 5 elements seal. Kimimaro stood behind Orochimaru, panting. Sasuke lay beside him, unconscious. The 3 Anbu, elephant, zoo, and eagle, were all reduced to corpses. Especially the eagle, which has many holes on its body caused by Kimimaro's bone spurs. Haha, Mizuki-kun, the matter is over, it's time for me to go. I'll help you deal with these 3 corpses. After saying that, he summoned 3 snakes and swallowed the bodies of the 3 Anbu. Don't forget our cooperation, goodbye. Orochimaru smiled and turned around. Kimimaro followed behind him and walked away. Suddenly Mizuki said, Orochimaru, this dead bone pulse boy next to you, would you like him to become my teacher? If he becomes a disciple of me, maybe I can help cure his bloodline disease. Orochimaru paused and looked back at Mizuki. You even know about the bloodline disease in Kimimaro. Where did you get the information? Mizuki smiled and said, I have my own source of information. How about it, do you want to give it a try? If you continue like this, he can last up to 3 months. Orochimaru asked, can you really cure him? Mizuki. Who knows? Orochimaru chuckled and said, Mizuki-kun, you are really an interesting person. How about we wait until Konoha collapses to talk about it? Random. Looking at the 2 figures walking away, Mizuki suddenly shook his head and smiled bitterly. Advertisement. What is this thing called? What was a good mission to the country of waves turned out to have such unexpected twists and turns? Both of them are unconscious, so let's take them to little Sakura first. When little Sakura wakes up, we can go back to Dazuna's house. At this time, Orochimaru and Kimimaro had already left the country of waves on a small boat. Master Orochimaru, is that Mizuki strong? Kimimaro asked. Orochimaru's voice was hoarse and he was silent for a moment before replying. Even for me, it would be difficult to defeat him, let alone kill him. His abilities are so weird and flexible. He can advance, attack, retreat or defend. Against him, the opponent will always be in a passive state. I see the shadow of the fourth Hokage in him. In some aspects, he is even stronger than the fourth Hokage. Orochimaru thought of the Rasengan that could be thrown, and the extremely powerful Rasen Shuriken. These are things that fourth-generation Namikaze Minato failed to do. Can you believe he said he would cooperate with us? Kimimaro asked again. Do you want to reveal the news to Konoha that Mizuki and we have joined forces to kill Konoha Anbu and completely force him to our side? Orochimaru shook his head. A person like him is like a lone wolf. He does not rely on the group and does not believe in any external power. The only thing he relies on is himself. According to the information Kabuto sent back, it seems that he even killed his fiancée. For such a person, any companionship or bond is worthless to him. If we force him to defect, then not only will he not join the Sound Ninja Village, but he will become our enemy completely. Kimimaro asked again. What if he breaks the promise and sides with Konoha? Orochimaru. So, our plan must be changed. The fourth cage must be kept first. Mizuki, on his side, first picked up Naruto and then walked towards Sasuke. When he approached Sasuke, he suddenly saw something on the back of Sasuke's neck. Those are three ring-shaped magatama. Curse seal. Oh my god, Orochimaru, he's so quick. The curse seal was eroding Sasuke's body, causing him to develop a high fever and unable to wake up. Naruto on the side was first eroded by Nine Tails and then tortured by Orochimaru. His energy was also exhausted and he fell into a deep sleep. Without waking the two of them up, Mizuki found little Sakura with one in each hand. Little Sakura also fell into a coma, having been stunned by Orochimaru. Mizuki walked up to her and shook her awake. Master Mizuki, where is this? When she opened her eyes, little Sakura was still a little confused, but after seeing Mizuki, she breathed a sigh of relief. In her eyes, Mizuki saw residual fear. It's okay, it's all over. Little Sakura gradually calmed down, turned around and saw Sasuke and Naruto lying on the ground, and suddenly exclaimed. Sasuke-kun. Naruto became completely transparent. Little Sakura came to Sasuke and soon discovered the curse mark on Sasuke's neck. Master Mizuki, what's wrong with Sasuke-kun? Mizuki. This is Orochimaru. Oh, Orochimaru is that disgusting guy who is neither male nor female. The thing on Sasuke's neck is the curse mark planted by Orochimaru. Little Sakura. Is this curse seal dangerous? Can it be lifted? Will Sasuke-kun die? Mizuki was dumbfounded after hearing a lot of questions from Barabala. He hurriedly said. Stop it, stop it. Don't worry, the curse seal is not dangerous in the short term. It will actually help Sasuke's strength. Of course, you can also seal it. Well, I'll give this 5-element seal to you. If you learn it, it might be helpful to Sasuke. Chapter 31. Teaching Rasengan. 5-element seal is an advanced sealing technique. The learning difficulty level is a level, and ordinary Jonin cannot learn it. In this world, there are only a few people who master the 5-element seal. Apart from Orochimaru and Jiraiya, they are probably the 3rd generation and the 4th generation. To learn the 5-element seal, you must master the nature transformation of Chakra, which are the 5 attributes of thunder, wind, water, earth, and fire. In the anime, there was no setting for the nature of Chakra at the beginning, so the 5-element seal used by Orochimaru and Jiraiya at that time were the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Later Kishimoto changed it, and here we use the 5 attributes Chakra. Mizuki now only masters the wind attribute Chakra transformation. Therefore, he cannot learn the 5-element seal now. I won't focus on this. Orochimaru is such a dog. There is no use in giving me such a thing. Mizuki certainly wouldn't expect little Sakura to learn the 5-element seal. It was given to little Sakura just for the system to return it. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted disciple Haruno Sakura the 5-element seal cultivation method, triggering a double return. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki immediately frowned. Did you hear that right? Double. Little Sakura's qualifications are not bad. Is this broken system broken? Congratulations to host, you have obtained the 5 elements unseal practice method. Close black lens bracket. 5 elements unseal. The 5 elements seal can be released. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki breathed heavily in his chest and almost couldn't get over it. With little Sakura nearby, he wanted to curse but couldn't. I can only sit down on the ground, look up at the darkening sky, and shut myself up in silence. Unfortunately, there is no cigarette in my pocket. After a long time, Mizuki sighed and thought to himself, it's not a gain, at least, 5 elements unseal can lift the 5 elements seal planted by Orochimaru on Naruto. Even though he thought so, he was still unwilling to do so. So, he decided to try again. Little Sakura, the 5 elements seal is difficult to learn in a short time. Therefore, I will teach you another illusion that can improve your strength. Mizuki also taught the Narukumi technique to little Sakura. The learning difficulty level of Narukumi technique is level D, and its power is not very strong. It is easy for little Sakura to learn. The Narukumi technique allows the enemy to see the most feared things in their hearts. This is what Orochimaru used on you before. Little Sakura was overjoyed when she got the training method. Thank you Master Mizuki. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted disciple Haruno Sakura the Narukumi technique practice method, triggering a 2222 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you got the magic. Hell training method. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket magic. Hell, a single S-level illusion. After being used on a single enemy, it will cause him to experience the punishment of hell, and his spirit will suffer a huge impact and be damaged. Close black lens bracket. After the introduction of the system, Mizuki smiled. Seeing that it was getting dark soon, Mizuki and little Sakura took Naruto and Sasuke back to Dazuna's house. Master Mizuki, will they be okay? Little Sakura asked. Mizuki. Don't worry, they will wake up tomorrow morning. Little Sakura nodded and looked at Sasuke with a worried look on her face. Master Mizuki, who is that Orochimaru? When he saw us, he asked where you were and cast illusions on us. Does he have any grudge against you? Mizuki explained. Orochimaru, Konoha's S-class rebel ninja, one of the former Konoha Sannin, and the proud disciple of the third Hokage. Master Hokage's disciple. Little Sakura was shocked. Advertisement. She couldn't understand why such a person would become a traitor. Shouldn't he stay in Konoha and inherit the position of Hokage? Mizuki. He came to me because he wanted to encourage me to betray Konoha and become his subordinate. Ah, betraying Konoha. Master Mizuki, do you agree? Little Sakura looked at Mizuki. Mizuki is speechless. I promised and will I still be here. It's good to stay in Konoha. Mizuki said casually. Then he said. Okay, let's have dinner and rest early. Tomorrow Dazna will start repairing the bridge. We are busy. After the meal, Mizuki borrowed the kitchen, took out a pack of high-efficiency bodybuilding medicine, boiled it, brewed a thick blue juice, poured it into the bathtub and started taking a bath. The medicinal power enters the body along the pores and strengthens cells. My whole body felt numb, as if there were countless ants crawling on me. Especially the right hand, soaked in water, the wound recovered at an extraordinary speed, and the damaged muscles were also repaired quickly. The first time I used it, Mizuki didn't expect the effect to be so good. Until in the bathtub, the blue color completely dissipated and the medicinal effect was exhausted. He raised his right hand and saw that the injury was mostly healed, and the medicine still remained in his body to continue repairing the damage. I'm afraid I don't have to wait until tomorrow morning, my right hand will be completely healed. Mizuki's eyes lit up. This medicine can not only strengthen the body, but also restore the body's damage. Produced by the system, it is indeed amazing. Early the next morning, Dazna went to repair the bridge. Naruto and Sasuke haven't woken up yet, so Mizuki leaves little Sakura behind to take care of Naruto and Sasuke while also preventing Kaido's men from causing harm. On the bridge, Mizuki had nothing to do and continued to study Genjutsu. Hell. Unlike ninjutsu and taijutsu, Genjutsu is a technique that attacks the enemy's five senses, causing them to fall into hallucinations. The principle of illusion is to disrupt the enemy's chakra, thereby disrupting the enemy's five senses. Depending on the medium used, illusions are divided into visual illusions, auditory illusions, and tactile illusions. Visual illusions, such as Nirvana technique, Tsukuyomi, etc. Auditory illusions, such as Tayuya's magic. Sound lock. Tactile illusions, such as Izanami. Magic. Hell is a technique that has never appeared in the ninja world. Mizuki still doesn't understand the basic principle of this technique. No idea. Firstly, S-level illusions are very difficult to learn. Secondly, he had never been exposed to any illusions before and had no foundation in illusions. If you want to learn, it cannot be done in a day or two. It seems that we have to start with simple illusions first. I originally didn't plan to learn the Narukumi technique, but now it seems that I can't do it without learning. Time soon reached noon, and Naruto, Sasuke, and little Sakura came together to deliver food. Naruto frowned, wondering about something. Sasuke's face was dark and he looked very thoughtful. What's wrong with you? You are so worried. Mizuki asked. Naruto said. Master Mizuki, I don't know what happened. My chakra has become difficult to control again. Moreover, the total amount of chakra is also much less. Mizuki said. You have been hit by Orochimaru's 5-element seal. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to break this seal. I can only wait until you return to the village and ask Hokage to help you break it. Naruto was sad. I still have to wait until I return to the village to solve it. Then it's not like I can't do anything during this period of time. Advertisement. It makes me unhappy to think that only AB************* D like Sasuke gets to take the limelight. After Naruto finished speaking, he looked at Sasuke provocatively, looking very unconvinced. Mizuki. Although the 5-element seal has an impact on you, it doesn't completely restrict you. It's just that you need to form a seal to release the ninjutsu, so the speed is just a little slower. Sasuke did not argue with Naruto, but looked at Mizuki and said, I want to become stronger. Naruto was not to be outdone and said, yes, I also want to become stronger. Master Mizuki, please teach us new ninjutsu. Mizuki smiled and said, it seems that this encounter with Orochimaru has made you realize what a real strong person is. If you want to learn new ninjutsu, no problem, but first, I'll have to finish lunch. After the meal, Mizuki got up. Naruto immediately looked expectant, and Sasuke, although he didn't show it too obviously, looked at Mizuki seriously. Little Sakura, on the other hand, has no interest. She just concentrates on studying the five elements seal. She also glances at the back of Sasuke's neck from time to time, her eyes full of concern and determination. Mizuki shook his head and said, now I want to teach you a powerful ninjutsu, but I have a request. Naruto immediately asked, what's the request? Mizuki, after you learn this ninjutsu, you are not allowed to tell others or use it before the finals of the Chunin exam. Why? Naruto was puzzled. Mizuki chuckled. No reason, either agree or I won't teach. Sasuke, I promise. Naruto, then I agree. Mizuki nodded, stretched out his right hand, and the next moment, Rasengan took shape. Naruto and Sasuke both stared at Rasengan, but they couldn't feel the power of Rasengan. Mizuki walked to the railing and threw the Rasengan down. In the blink of an eye, Rasengan hit the sea water, and then the sea surface exploded. The sea water exploded 30 to 40 meters, and the entire bridge shook. Okay, that's awesome, Naruto exclaimed with his eyes widened. Sasuke was also stunned. This jutsu is called Rasengan. It is a Muji ninjutsu developed by the 4th Hokage. It is rated a level. Sasuke asked. After we learn the Mu seal ninjutsu, don't we need to form seals? Mizuki nodded. There is a stronger advanced version of this technique, which we will discuss later. Rasengan is more difficult to learn and is divided into 3 stages. Now we start the first stage of training. He took out a water balloon, crushed it, and then explained it in detail. Okay, this is how it works. Now you can practice it yourself. When you can use chakra to control the water flow and burst the water ball, when will the first stage of practice be successful? Mizuki took out 2 water balloons and handed them over. But just halfway through handing it over, he suddenly thought of something, and then quickly crushed the water balloon. Minzuo. Mizuki was so risky that he almost wasted 2 opportunities to return. Damn it, I accidentally broke the last 2 water balloons. In that case, you can go buy them at the market. Sasuke's eyes twitched and he was speechless. Naruto didn't know what politeness was, and said loudly, you obviously broke it on purpose, okay. Mizuki chuckled and ignored him. By the way, for such an advanced ninjutsu as Rasengan, what will the system return? Also, if I teach Naruto and Sasuke Rasengan at the same time, will the returns stack up? Chapter 32. I was wrong, I didn't change into a cat. Mizuki waited for a long time, but did not wait for the system's return report. Won't you return it? Do we have to wait until they learn Rasengan? The system's return method is not fixed. For example, if you teach Sasuke the method of treading water, the system will return you the method of stepping on air. If you teach Sakura the Narukumi technique method, the system will return magic. Hell training method. The return of these training methods cannot directly improve Mizuki's strength. Mizuki needs to practice on his own to master them. Besides, when it comes to guiding Sasuke to practice hearing and positioning, the system directly returns the echolocation and masters it directly, and his strength is immediately improved. The difference between the two, in short, is that one is the design drawing and the other is the finished product. For Mizuki, it would be best to return the finished product. There is no need to spend time practicing, which saves worry and effort. Naruto and Sasuke went to the market and bought water balloons, and then practiced on the bridge. In less than 2 hours, the water balloon in Sasuke's hand burst. When Naruto heard the sound and knew that Sasuke had completed the first stage of training, he roared angrily. I want to be a Hokage man, how can I lose to Sasuke? I don't accept it. Unfortunately, his chakra was disrupted by the 5 elements seal, and his chakra control ability was greatly weakened. Although Mizuki had explained the trick very clearly, Naruto was unable to control the chakra, which resulted in him being unable to control the chakra spinning irregularly in his hands. Sasuke-kun, that's amazing. Little Sakura has put down the 5 elements seal training scroll and is cheering for Sasuke from the side. When Naruto saw this, his jealousy boiled over, and jealousy rushed into his brain. He gasped, chakra surged out crazily, and the water ball in his hand shook violently. Damn it Sasuke, I'm going to break you. It turns out that he mistook the water ball for Sasuke, and he wanted to crush the water ball and let out a bad breath the next moment. Sasuke glanced at the water ball dangling in Naruto's hand and smiled unconsciously. This smile happened to be seen by Naruto. His already jealous heart exploded into infinite rage. Damn Sasuke, why are you laughing? Sasuke said calmly. The end of the crane. Naruto roared, if I hadn't been broken by that Orochimaru seal and disrupted the chakra, I would have been faster than you. Sasuke. Yeah, I'm a jerk, I just like to make excuses. Even if you're in good condition, I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. Mizuki raised his eyebrows. 2 brats with no hair at all were competing against each other here. It's immoral. As they continued to argue, little Sakura also joined the battlefield. Idiot Naruto. Sasuke-kun is a genius, he is definitely faster than you. Mizuki. He coughed dryly and began to reflect on his own heart. It is said that a person with an evil heart will see evil in everything he sees. You can't blame me for this. If you want to blame it, you can only blame it on the decline of the world. Soon, the three of them got tired of arguing and finally stopped. Sasuke snorted at Naruto and said to Mizuki, I have successfully practiced the first stage, and it's time to start the second stage. Mizuki nodded and said, yes, then next, I will explain the second stage of Rasengan training. Naruto, be quiet, come and listen together, so you don't have to say it twice. He took out the ball and finished explaining the second stage of practice. Advertisement. The system still did not issue a return report. Until dark, Naruto didn't break the water ball. On the other hand, Sasuke's ball was slightly deformed. Naruto was unconvinced, but there was nothing he could do. On the way back, he looked like a defeated rooster, keeping his head down and saying nothing. The next day, after practicing all day, Naruto's water ball still didn't break. Sasuke's ball, on the other hand, is deforming more and more. Seeing little Sakura cheering for Sasuke, Naruto felt a little autistic. At night, when everyone was asleep, Naruto got up secretly, went to the beach, and practiced hard alone. On the roof, Mizuki watched this scene with a smile on his lips. There are many reasons why Naruto can become the protagonist of Hokage and the hero who ultimately saves the ninja world. Son of the fourth generation, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, the reincarnation of Ashura. But Mizuki always feels that these are not the main reasons. The perseverance of being the tail end of a crane but not being ruined is the most important factor in Naruto's success. Mizuki thinks that he is not as good as Naruto. People with this kind of perseverance will succeed no matter what their origins. Then, help him again. Naruto held the water ball in his hand and practiced over and over again, trying hard to control the chakra to rotate randomly. But no matter how hard he tried, the result was a mess. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn Orochimaru, just wait. When I become stronger, I will dry you into a snake and feed it to the cat. Just then, a meow came from the side. Then a fat orange jumped out from the corner of the room, jumped up, knocked the water balloon from Naruto's hand to the ground, and started playing with it. Hey, little kitten, don't play with my ball, it's for practice. Naruto shouted anxiously. But Orange didn't pay any attention to him. He was having a great time playing with his two cat paws, one on the left and one on the right. As the two cat paws kept playing with the water ball, the water in the water ball began to rotate irregularly. Suddenly there was a pop sound, the water ball burst and water flowed all over the floor. Juzuo jumped up in surprise with a meow, turned around and ran away. When Naruto saw this, instead of blaming the cat, his eyes shone. Ha ha ha, I thought of it. Kitty, thank you so much. Where is your home? I will buy dried fish for you to eat tomorrow. He immediately took out a new water balloon, holding it in his left hand, and poured chakra into it. At the same time, his right hand also released chakra, forming a chakra vortex in the palm of his hand. Then he kept touching the water ball in his left hand with his right hand, and used the chakra vortex in his right hand to affect the rotation of the chakra in the water ball. Because the right hand touches different places, all at different angles, irregularly. The water in the water polo began to rotate irregularly at various angles. The surface of the water polo deformed violently, and then there was a pop sound. Broken. Haha, it worked. Naruto cheered loudly. The orange cat jumps onto the roof and with a bang, transforms into Mizuki. Mizuki smiled as he watched Naruto pop the water balloon. That's right, that's right. He's very smart. He can understand everything at once. It's not in vain for me to give up my dignity and become a cat. Early the next morning, while having breakfast, Naruto excitedly announced that he had completed the first stage of Rasengan training and demonstrated it in public. Little Sakura. Tisk, even with two hands, it's still not as good as Sasuke-kun. Sasuke, however, took a serious look at Naruto. There was no mockery in his eyes, but a hint of recognition. Mizuki smiled and said, it doesn't matter if the cat is black or white, it is a good cat if it can catch mice. Naruto can think of using two hands, which can be said to be very clever. Naruto scratched his head and chuckled. Actually, I have to thank the cat last night. If it weren't for it, I wouldn't have thought of using two hands. I don't know where that cat lives. I want to buy a lot of dried fish for it to eat. Advertisement. Mizuki touched his nose awkwardly. At this moment, Inari suddenly said, last night, I saw him turn into a cat, a big fat orange cat. As he spoke, he pointed at Mizuki. Everyone immediately looked at Mizuki. Naruto was shocked. Ah, Master Mizuki, did you transform that fat cat? Of course Mizuki wouldn't admit it. No, Inari got it wrong. If I were to guide you in your practice, I would just explain it to you face to face. There is no need to go to the trouble of turning into a cat to inspire you. Naruto nodded. Yeah, that's true. Inari. I read that right, it's him. Mizuki. No, you saw it wrong, or you dreamed it. Sasuke glanced at Mizuki. As a member of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke had a delicate mind. He always felt that Mizuki was lying. Did he really inspire Naruto by turning into a cat? But why does he know that using 2 hands can improve the success rate of Chakra's random rotation? Only a fool can come up with such a stupid method. He's not stupid, so how could he think of such a method? Sasuke takes Doran as his own. Why use 2 hands when you can do something with 1 hand? It's not necessary at all. For the next few days, Sasuke and Naruto worked hard to break the ball. The first stage is the random rotation of chakra. The second stage is to inject more chakra to increase the power. It also tests chakra control ability. Sasuke was way ahead, but Naruto wasn't far behind. Sasuke's chakra amount is not as much as Naruto's. He practices less frequently every day and runs out of blue after practicing dozens of times. Naruto has more chakra. Although he is behind Sasuke in terms of progress, he can practice it 200 to 300 times a day. Quality is not enough, quantity comes. It doesn't matter if you run fast because you don't have enough endurance. Although I am a slow runner, I have enough endurance. If you run for 1 hour, I will run for 3 hours. The two of them chased each other, and no one gave in to the other. The efficiency of their cultivation was greatly improved. Finally, it took 5 days for the two of them to complete the second stage of practice on the same day, one after the other. Sasuke was only 10 minutes faster than Naruto. Sasuke-kun, what do you think? Naruto, are you convinced? Little Sakura looked at Sasuke with admiration, and made all kinds of sarcasm towards Naruto. This time Naruto just smiled and didn't refute. Sasuke, on the other hand, looked sullen and unhappy. Sakura-chan, stop talking. Hearing the displeasure in Sasuke's words, little Sakura was puzzled. It's clear that Sasuke-kun is happy, why aren't you happy? Mizuki shook his head aside, thinking that this little Sakura is really a bit of a brainless fan of Sasuke. It was obvious that Naruto was faster in the second stage of training. Because when Naruto changed his water ball to a leather ball, Sasuke had been practicing with a leather ball for more than a day. Naruto started late, but was only 10 minutes away from the final score. It's strange that Sasuke is happy. Very good. The second phase was completed very well. Then, the next step is the third and final phase. Without any external objects, let the chakra gather in the palm of your hand and make random rotations at various angles. If you can do it, Rasengan will do it. The bridge will be built in only 3 days. Can you learn how to do it before the bridge is built? Chapter 33. Kakashi comes to take over. When people become accustomed to dependence, it is not that easy to get rid of them. With the help of the space limitations of water balls and rubber balls, Sasuke and Naruto have been able to control chakra to rotate randomly. But it's difficult when you have nothing in your hands. Just like primary school students practicing calligraphy, they practice in the rice grid according to the copybook, and the shape of the calligraphy will not be bad. But if he is asked to practice on a white paper, the written characters will immediately return to their original shape. I saw only the two of them, with chakra running around in their hands. Although it was spinning, it couldn't gather into a ball at all. Mizuki was not surprised and stopped giving any guidance. At this point, you are actually only 1 step away from success. If you practice more, you will naturally master it. According to Mizuki's estimate, 3 days should be enough. But genius is always unexpected. Only 1 day later, Naruto succeeded. I've learned it, little Sakura-chan, look at my balls. Early in the morning, as soon as Naruto got up, he ran to the kitchen with excitement on his face and showed the Rasengan in front of little Sakura. Suddenly, there was a lot of wind blowing in the kitchen. Idiot. Little Sakura punched Naruto on the head, killing the Rasengan. Do you know that it is dangerous to cast Rasengan here? What if you damage the house? Naruto covered his head with a sad expression on his face. I was so happy that I forgot about it. However, I have learned Rasengan, little Sakura-chan. Now you know who is more talented between me and Sasuke, right? Little Sakura wanted to refute, but she had nothing to say at this time. She was also surprised. She used to think that Naruto was a fool who couldn't learn anything, but she didn't expect that he could learn Rasengan so quickly. Just then, Sasuke also came to the kitchen. Naruto immediately turned the gun and said, "You be asterisk 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 D Sasuke, I have mastered the Rasengan. How about it, are you surprised? Do you feel that you are rubbish and useless? Hey, I can't help it. The world of genius is so difficult to understand. I can't envy you, little Sakura. Hash hash hash." She planned to punch Naruto again. At this time, Naruto really needed a beating. Sasuke glanced at Naruto and snorted proudly, without saying anything, he just raised his hands with his palms upward. The next moment, a Rasengan appeared in the palms of both hands. Little Sakura's attention shifted directly from Naruto's head to Sasuke's face. Ah, Sasuke-kun, you are so awesome. What I was shouting in my heart was, Sasuke-kun is so handsome, I want to give birth to a monkey for you. Sasuke ignored little Sakura, glanced at Naruto again, and snorted. You think you're the only one who knows how to stay up late at night to practice? Naruto coughed twice and said, "What, this is the kitchen, Rasengan is very dangerous, please disarm it quickly, don't destroy the house." Little Sakura scolded. Idiot Naruto, you are jealous of Sasuke-kun's talent. You can create a Rasengan by using both hands together, and Sasuke-kun, you can make a Rasengan with one hand. You are not qualified to compete with Sasuke-kun to see who is a genius. Naruto is autistic. This is too much of a double standard. Advertisement. Of course, he has long been used to it, ever since he was in ninja school. At this time, Mizuki, who was going downstairs, remembered the system prompts in his mind. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uzumaki Naruto a level ninjutsu Rasengan, triggering 3000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Host granted his disciple Uchiha Sasuke the A-level ninjutsu Rasengan, triggering a 3000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Since the grant type and return multiple are the same, the two returns will be superimposed. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, triggering a 10,000-fold return, and obtaining SS-level secrets, 6 paths. Yin-Yang Rasengan. Close black lens bracket. SS-level mystery, 6 paths. Yin-Yang Rasengan. Mizuki's eyes widened and his head was buzzing. With the addition of the two words 6 paths, it is obvious that this technique has become otherworldly. Moreover, the words yin and yang are not used casually. Chakra, in addition to the 5 basic attributes of fire, thunder, wind, earth, and water, also has yin escape attributes and yang escape attributes. Yin escape represents spiritual power, and yin escape technique can create forms from the invisible. Genjutsu, the secret arts of the Yamanaka clan, and the secret arts of the Nara clan belong to the category of yin escape. Yang escape represents physical strength, and yang escape technique can inject life into the body. The expansion jutsu of the Akamaiki clan, the body healing and medical ninjutsu of the Senju clan, etc., belong to the category of yang release. Yin and yang escape are combined into one, which is the yin and yang escape technique. Once you master the power of yin and yang, you master the power of creation. It is said that the 9-tailed beasts were created by dividing the 10 tails chakra from sage of 6 paths and then using the yin-yang technique. Jutsu based on yin-yang release, such as truth-seeking ball, can ignore all ninjutsu. Except for senjutsu, any other ninjutsu can be resolved by the truth-seeking ball. Even impure world reincarnation's body cannot resist. After being hit, the body cannot heal, and in severe cases, the body will be wiped out. Am I invincible now? In the current ninja world, there is no 6 paths Obito, no 6 paths Dance King, no cheating Naruto and Sasuke, who is still my opponent. Mizuki felt dizzy. Happiness comes too suddenly. At this time, the system continued to introduce 6 paths. The Yin-Yang Rasengan contains the power of Yin-Yang escape, its destructive power is comparable to the truth-seeking ball, and it ignores everything except senjutsu and the Yin-Yang escape technique, which also belongs to the 6 paths. Close black lens bracket. Note that host has not mastered Yin-Yang escape. Every time he uses this technique, he will consume a lot of mental and physical strength. He will be extremely weak after using it and cannot get out of bed for a week, and he cannot exercise strenuously for 2 weeks. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki. Damn, it actually has side effects. This thing can only be used as a trump card. But even so, Mizuki still felt very happy. Such a trump card is rare. In the kitchen, breakfast is simple. After everyone finished eating, they were ready to set off. The bridge would be completed in 2 days, and Dasna was very motivated. But before he could go out, there was a knock on the door. After Tsunami opened the door, she relaxed her vigilance when she saw a strange person outside the door, but wearing Konoha's forehead protector. Are you also a ninja from Konoha? Who are you looking for? This is the home of Master Bridge Builder Tatsuna, right? I am Konoha Jonin Kakashi, here to take over the mission of Team 7. The people in the room heard the sound and Naruto immediately got up to look. Teacher Kakashi, it's really you, why are you here? Advertisement. Kakashi said. I have been ordered by Lord Hokage to take over from Mizuki and led you on the mission to protect Dazuna. Naruto asked in confusion. Why are Grandpa 3rd generation doing so much trouble? Master Mizuki is taking us very well. Why do we ask you, Mr. Kakashi, to come over? Kakashi. But this is Lord Hokage's order, related to the death of 3 Anbu. Lord Hokage needs to recall Mizuki to understand the situation at that time. 3 Anbu. Dead. Naruto exclaimed and asked, Kakashi-sensei, you mean those 3 uncles with masks are dead? Kakashi nodded. Yes, they are dead. Orochimaru also sold the bodies of the 3 of them to the money exchange. Naruto's eyes widened in disbelief. 3 living people, just gone. Orochimaru. Naruto gritted his teeth at the mention of the name. Inside the room, Mizuki narrowed his eyes slightly. Halfway through the mission, it was about to end, but 3rd generation asked Kakashi to take over. After thinking about it, Mizuki was not surprised. After all, 3 Anbu died, how could Konoha not do anything at all? It doesn't matter. Anyway, I didn't kill the 3 Anbu. Even if he falls out with Konoha, Mizuki is not afraid. Although Konoha is strong, he is not a chicken who can be slaughtered by others. If he cannot be beaten, he can run away. After Kakashi entered the room, everyone greeted him, and Mizuki said, Kakashi-senpai, Orochimaru's target this time is Sasuke. In fact, as soon as Kakashi entered the house, he saw the curse mark on Sasuke's neck. He nodded and said, Orochimaru's curse seal will corrode the human body. Later I will use the evil sealing seal to seal the curse seal. Although I don't know what Orochimaru's purpose is, as an S-class rebellious ninja of Konoha, Orochimaru's appearance is very important to Sir Hokage. So I was sent here to take over from you and led them on their mission. You return to the village immediately and explain the situation to Lord Hokage. Mizuki nodded and added. Orochimaru also placed a 5-element seal on Naruto's abdomen, causing Naruto Chakra to lose control. Kakashi nodded. I can't handle this matter. I can only wait for Naruto to return to the village and find Master Hokage to unlock the seal. Before leaving, he told Kakashi about Zabuza's situation, and then Mizuki set off. Leave the kingdom of waves and set foot on the land of fire. Along the way, he hummed quietly and walked toward Konoha alone and unhurriedly. What I was thinking about was how to deal with the third generation after returning to Konoha. To be honest, he didn't want to leave Konoha. There are many geniuses in Konoha, and the return multiplier awarded is affected by the disciple's talent. Especially Nazuo, the two protagonists must not be lost. Only in Konoha could he get the best out of the system. When the time comes, pass all the blame to Orochimaru. Let me properly reveal the plan for Konoha's collapse so that the third generation will not be distracted from dealing with me. Suddenly, he paused and turned to look at the woods to the side. You three, what do you want from me? He was humming all the way, not because he was in high spirits, but because he was on echolocation alert. Just now, 3 figures broke into the echolocation range, and they looked menacing. Having discovered us so quickly, it seems that as the intelligence said, he is not a simple chunin. Accompanied by the sound of voices, 2 men wearing black and red cloud windbreakers walked out from behind the tree. Mizuki's eyes suddenly narrowed. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame from the Akatsuki organization. Chapter 34. Recruitment from the Akatsuki organization. Although both of them wore hats and covered most of their faces, Mizuki recognized their identities at a glance. Most importantly, Kisami's characteristics are obvious. Carrying the bandaged sword Samahata on his back, if Mizuki couldn't recognize it, he would have spent so many years watching Hokage in vain. For the first time, Mizuki closed his eyes. He doesn't care about Hoshigaki Kisame, and he's not afraid of the sword Samahata or anything like that. So what if you can suck chakra, can you touch me? And with Kisami's seal speed, before he even used his ninjutsu, Mizuki's teleportation and detonating talisman were enough to blow him up 2 or 3 times. Mizuki doesn't care about Kisame, but he doesn't dare to have any contempt for Uchiha Itachi. Compared to Mizuki, Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan illusion is the most troublesome. With ordinary illusions, Mizuki won't hit it at all thanks to his super chakra control ability. The principle of illusion is to disrupt the chakra in the enemy's body, thereby achieving the purpose of controlling the 5 senses. Mizuki's super chakra control makes it impossible for those who cast illusions to disrupt his chakra. Therefore, ordinary illusions cannot affect him at all. But the pupil illusion type magic is different. The essence of pupil-like illusions is no longer as simple as disturbing the chakra, but directly skipping the chakra and disturbing the mental power, which essentially makes people fall into hallucinations. Uchiha Itachi is a master of illusions, and there is Tsukuyomi, who is said to be invincible, so Mizuki has to guard against him. Although his soul traveled through time and absorbed Mizuki's soul and memory, his spiritual power is stronger than that of ordinary people. But he didn't dare to gamble. If Tsukuyomi is hit and can't remove it, wouldn't he be putting himself in danger? Therefore, after realizing that it was Uchiha Itachi, he immediately closed his eyes. Anyway, with echolocation, it is possible without relying on vision. As long as you can see the other party's movements. Of course, this is not safe. Uchiha Itachi also has the right eye pupil technique Amaterasu. Everything his eyes look at will be ignited by the flames of Amaterasu. Therefore, Mizuki has made up his mind to leave after saying a few words. After returning to Konoha, there might be a fight to be fought. It would be bad if you get hurt here. Under the bamboo hat, surprise flashed in Uchiha Itachi's eyes. With Itachi's intelligence, the moment Mizuki closed his eyes, he realized that Mizuki was guarding him. He is afraid of Sharingan, but I haven't shown my true face yet and my eyes are covered by the bamboo hat. How does he know that I have Sharingan? Does he know me? Uchiha Itachi was puzzled. After Itachi graduated from ninja school, he joined Anbu. Except at home, he always wore a mask and did not show his true face. Mizuki, on the other hand, is just an ordinary chunin, a commoner, and has no connection with Itachi. Logically speaking, Mizuki shouldn't know Itachi. There is something wrong with this behavior of closing your eyes before seeing the face. You two seem to have come to see me specially. What's the matter? Mizuki asked. Itachi and Kisame took off their hats and looked at Mizuki. Kisame was very unhappy and said, Hey, you are talking to us with your eyes closed, aren't you very rude? Advertisement. Mizuki. You shark guy, I don't know you, why should I be polite to you? Kisame. I opened my mouth, but unfortunately, I was speechless. What he said made sense, and I was speechless. At this time Itachi said, We are from the Akatsuki organization. I am Uchiha Itachi. This person next to me is Hoshigaki Kisame. We are here to invite you to join the Akatsuki organization. The Akatsuki organization already has information about your capabilities. You fought Orochimaru without losing. You mastered the space ninjutsu of swapping places with others. Your strength has reached the requirements of the Akatsuki organization and you can become a formal member of the Akatsuki organization. Mizuki was surprised. How did the Akatsuki organization know about my information? Were any members of the Akatsuki organization present during the previous battle with Orochimaru? He thought of something and suddenly said loudly, "It seems that you know a lot about me." The louder the sound, the farther the sound waves travel, and the wider the range covered by echolocation. Then he discovered that there was a person growing on a tree 60 meters away. A weird-shaped one with jagged pitcher plants growing out of its neck, shrouding its head. It's black-white Zetsu. From this point of view, when he fought Orochimaru before, he would definitely hide aside and watch the whole battle. Zetsu discovered Mizuki's ability, and Fei told Pain, and then the Akatsuki organization knew about it. Mizuki was wary. Ju's ability is too special, he appears and disappears, and he is hard to guard against. No matter what you do in the future, you must be careful not to let more information leak to Zetsu. Uchiha Itachi, Konoha's S-level rebellious ninja, once slaughtered the Uchiha clan. Hoshigaki Kisame, Karigakure's S-level rebellious ninja, is the holder of Samahata, the great sword of the seven blades. It's such an honor for a strong man like you to invite me. Unfortunately, I am a Konoha shinobi and have no interest in betraying Konoha and joining other organizations. Joining the Akatsuki organization has no benefits at all for Mizuki. Moreover, Mizuki completely disagrees with the philosophy of the Akatsuki organization. What makes the ninja world feel pain can promote peace in the ninja world. There must be something wrong with your brain. And Obito's infinite Tsukuyomi plan is just self-deception. What kind of peace is illusory peace? Itachi and Kisame were not surprised by Mizuki's rejection. Itachi said, "As far as I know, you are not living well in Konoha. The third Hokage does not like you for unknown reasons. First, I arranged for you to be an assistant teacher at the ninja school, and the treatment was extremely poor. And I sent Anbu to monitor you and guard you closely. And you were assassinated in Konoha. When you were on a mission to exterminate mountain bandits more than half a month ago, you were intercepted and killed by 3 root ninjas. Even your fiancé died. Is Konoha like this worth your continued sacrifice for it?" Itachi's words made Mizuki murmur in his heart. What do you mean, you idiot? Joining the Akatsuki organization is just for Konoha. Since you are on Konoha's side, why are you trying so hard to persuade me to betray Konoha? Are you afraid that if I stay in Konoha, it will cause damage to Konoha? Thinking of this, Mizuki became even more speechless towards Uchiha Itachi. Is it necessary to be so devoted to Konoha? Advertisement. He even wondered if Uchiha Itachi had fallen into Shisui's distinguished heavenly gods. Itachi continued. This time, 3 Konoha Anbu died in the land of waves. Third Hokage calls you back and will definitely hold you accountable. Mizuki. Those 3 Anbu were killed by Orochimaru, it's none of my business. Itachi. Anbu is dead but you are alive. The third generation will definitely accuse you of colluding with Orochimaru and label you a traitorous ninja. No matter how you defend yourself, it will be useless. The ninjas and civilians in the village will also agree with the third generation. If back in Konoha, you will be driven to a dead end. Although with your strength, you can make effective resistance and even cause huge casualties to Konoha. However, Konoha is outnumbered and you will definitely die in the end. Mizuki raised an eyebrow. You say so much because you are afraid that if you return to Konoha and have a falling out, you will cause casualties to Konoha, right? What a Uchiha Itachi, really dedicated to protecting Konoha. Okay, stop talking nonsense, it's not difficult for me to join the Akatsuki organization. Catch me and defeat me, and I will agree to become a member of the Akatsuki organization. Mizuki chuckled, and the next moment his body disappeared, leaving only a fallen leaf floating to the ground. Mizuki's body has already appeared 50 meters away. But as soon as he appeared, he immediately disappeared again and flashed 50 meters forward again. Just like that, Mizuki disappeared from the sight of Itachi and Kisame in a blink of an eye. How do you catch this? Kisame was dumbfounded. Itachi said. It seems that his ability is not only to exchange places with people, but also to exchange places with objects. He swaps places with fallen leaves 50 meters away and moves forward 50 meters in an instant. This ability is even easier to use than 4th Hokage's Flying Thunder God. Kisame, Itachi-san, and Angel, what should we do next? At this time, Conan also walked out of the forest. Conan said. Since he wants to return to Konoha and die, then we don't need to worry about him. Itachi said. His ability cannot be used infinitely, and it will definitely consume chakra. If we catch up, we have a chance to catch him. If such a person joins our Akatsuki organization, it will be of great help to the organization's future plans. Besides, Konoha already knows how powerful Mizuki is. If third generation changes its strategy and does not kill him, but reuses him, Konoha's strength will definitely increase. There will be one more enemy that the organization will have to deal with in the future. So my opinion is, if he doesn't agree to join, then kill him. Kisame turned his head and glanced at Itachi in confusion. He felt that Itachi was a little abnormal today, and his murderous intention seemed too serious. Conan asked directly. Itachi, I have felt the murderous intention in you from just now. Do you have any trouble with this Mizuki? Itachi was silent for a moment, and then said, I have nothing against him. I just hate Konoha. I am happy to kill Konoha's ninjas myself. Conan. That's good. I thought you were worried that he would cause damage to Konoha when he returned to Konoha, so you wanted to kill him. In that case, let's catch up. If he really doesn't want to join the Akatsuki organization, then kill him. Bring his body back and give it to Shie. That way his abilities can also be used by the Akatsuki organization. After Conan made his decision, the three immediately launched a teleportation and pursued Mizuki in the direction he left. Mizuki moved forward 300 meters by changing his appearance. The distance is about the same. They shouldn't continue to catch up, right? Mizuki jumped on the branches in the forest and sped up. But after a while, he heard the sound of clothes rustling in the wind from behind him. Chapter 35. Almost capsized in the gutter. Mizuki turned his head and caught a glimpse of Itachi and Kisame chasing after him from the corner of his eye. They were blinking at extremely fast speeds. Conan even used the dance of paper to create a pair of wings behind him and flew after him. In comparison, Mizuki, who has not even learned the body flicker technique, can only jump forward in the jungle like a slow-moving old monkey. It's endless, right? He stopped and turned to face the three, his eyes closed again. I told you that I have no interest in joining the Akatsuki organization. Why are you so persistent? The three Itachis also stopped. Itachi said, I am a rebellious ninja of Konoha and I hate Konoha extremely. You are a ninja of Konoha. If you don't join the Akatsuki organization, you are my enemy and I will kill you. Your body will be made into a puppet and will continue to be driven by the Akatsuki organization. Mizuki smiled and said, I have the apparition technique. Even if I can't defeat you, I can retreat at any time. You want to kill me, haha. Itachi was expressionless and gave an ultimatum. I ask you again, do you want to join the Akatsuki organization? Although Mizuki closed his eyes, Itachi's expression clearly appeared in his mind. Uchiha Itachi, I appreciate you, but since you want to kill me, I won't be polite. As soon as he finished speaking, the three detonating charms had been ignited, and the teleportation was activated, and the positions of Mizuki and Itachi instantly switched. Boom! The explosion resounded through the forest. Uchiha Itachi was at the center of the explosion and had no time to escape. But the next moment, the fire dissipated and a group of crows flew out. These crows gathered on the side, swaying, and reunited into Uchiha Itachi's body. Mizuki had no time to admire Itachi's technique, because at this time, he heard a hissing sound behind him. What a Uchiha Itachi, he actually arranged the detonating charm in advance. The next moment, there was an explosion behind Mizuki. At the critical moment, Mizuki transformed again and changed places with Kisame. In order to prevent Kisame from imitating Itachi and arranging the detonating charm in advance, Mizuki and Kisame exchanged positions and immediately used disapparation on a stone 5 meters away. In less than 0.5 seconds, Mizuki used 3 consecutive transformations. The first time is to attack, the second time is to escape, and the third time is to prevent danger. When he stopped, Mizuki noticed a large area of pain in his back. Even though he reacted quickly, the detonating talisman arranged by Uchiha Itachi still affected Mizuki. The clothes on his back were blown into pieces and his skin was burned over a large area. At that moment, if it had been 0.01 seconds slower, Mizuki would have been seriously injured or even killed directly. How cruel. Mizuki admired Itachi's fighting wisdom and also admired Itachi's ruthless determination. The contempt in his heart was completely restrained. At the same time, Kisame, who had been replaced by Mizuki, was enveloped in the flames of the explosion and let out a shrill scream. But when the fire light dissipated, Kisame's body turned into water and flowed all over the floor. Water body. Mizuki's mouth twitched. He took the initiative to attack and used disapparation 3 times in succession. As a result, neither Itachi nor Kisame lost a hair, but he was injured instead. I'm the clown myself. The inexhaustible tactic of disembodiment hit a wall today. This is the negative consequence of the leakage of one's own intelligence. The enemy knows the apparition technique, and as long as they are not stupid, they will think of ways to deal with it. Advertisement. There is no invincible technique. Overconfidence leads to capsize in the gutter. My echolocation is not accurate enough after all, and there is still a delay. It is good to use it to sense the enemy's situation, but it is still too stretched for fighting. He didn't notice when Uchiha Itachi used the crow avatar to form the seal, or when Kisame used the water avatar to form the seal. If his eyes were open, the other party's movements would never escape his observation. Unfortunately, Mizuki could only fight with his eyes closed because he was afraid of Itachi's genjutsu. Damn it, this is too passive. If you continue to fight, I'm afraid I will be played to death. Mizuki felt aggrieved, but there was nothing he could do about it. After a confrontation, he suffered a big loss and was even injured. Since time travel, he has never suffered such a big loss. He felt that he had to go. As expected of Uchiha Itachi, I give in. You guys are great and I am no match for you, so I'm leaving. He said very bachelorly, and then jumped to the treetop. Itachi said, you can't walk away. Although the apparition technique is flexible, it will also consume chakra. How long can your chakra last? Today, either join the Akatsuki organization or die. Mizuki smiled. Who said I only have the apparition technique? As soon as he finished speaking, he flashed a few times and was out of sight of the three people. Then he sprayed chakra from the soles of his feet and activated the air stepping technique. He didn't fly high, but stayed close to the forest canopy, flying at a low altitude, maxing out his speed, and moving away quickly. In the forest, Uchiha Itachi said, "He can't run far, let's keep chasing." After a brief encounter, Uchiha Itachi had a more intuitive view of Mizuki's strength. Not only can he transform, but he also masters perception ninjutsu. Even if he closes his eyes, he can accurately sense the position of surrounding objects. In addition, he also learned the fourth Hokage's Rasengan, and introduced a new one, adding wind-style chakra nature transformation to the Rasengan, which has increased its power and is as destructive as a tailed beast bomb. Mizuki's level of harm has been elevated to S-level in Itachi's mind. The third generation doesn't want to see him at all. This time, 3 more Anbu died. When he returns, the third generation will definitely take the opportunity to attack. Mizuki will definitely resist and a war will break out. Regardless of the final outcome, Konoha will suffer huge losses. Itachi was worried. He only has one thought now, to catch Mizuki and kill him, and never let him return to Konoha and cause damage to the village. But Mizuki has already flown far away, how can he still catch up? Body flicker technique also consumes chakra and cannot be used unlimitedly. After chasing for 2 or 3 kilometers, there was still no trace of Mizuki, and Itachi began to get anxious. "You can't catch up anymore, give up," Conan announced directly. "Maybe he was faster than us, maybe he changed directions. In short, we have lost the pursuit." Itachi felt extremely regretful. "If I had known better, I should have used Amaterasu and burned him to death. Unfortunately, there is no point in regretting. The only thing I can do now is to find an opportunity to send Mizuki's information back to Konoha so that Konoha can formulate a response method so that Konoha's losses can be minimized." It took 5 minutes for Mizuki to fly a distance of about 25 kilometers and consume 3 cards of chakra. At this point, his chakra has bottomed out. "I had used dissiparation many times before, which consumed a lot of chakra, plus the consumption of the air stepping technique. Now, there is only 1 card of chakra left in Mizuki's body." Advertisement. The last 1 card of chakra cannot be consumed anymore and must be kept to prevent emergencies. He flew high into the sky and looked around. This distance is already very safe. Even if Uchiha Itachi and the others don't give up, they won't be able to catch up. There happens to be a small town ahead. I'd better go take care of the injury on my back. Entering the town, Mizuki found a hotel and took a bath with highly effective bodybuilding medicine. The medicine was as effective as ever, and by the next morning, the injury on his back was almost healed. Thinking back to yesterday's battle, Mizuki was still a little scared. "I almost fell down. In the past, I was too arrogant. I always thought that I was invincible if I could transform. Although Uchiha Itachi wanted to kill me, he also taught me a lesson. Whether a person is strong or not cannot be judged only by chakra, ninjutsu, etc. Chakra and ninjutsu are all external factors, while internal factors are combat wisdom and combat experience. During yesterday's battle, Mizuki would never have imagined that Itachi would arrange the detonating talisman in advance. If he could realize it, he wouldn't be injured. This is the lack of fighting wisdom. In short, Mizuki was outgunned by Uchiha Itachi. Thinking about it makes me feel aggrieved and a little helpless. Ever since I gained the ability to change my form, I have only studied how to attack and how to kill enemies, but I have never carefully considered the weaknesses of this technique. So much so that I almost got myself killed by Uchiha Itachi. As the saying goes, if you know yourself and the enemy, you can fight 100 battles without danger. Mizuki didn't even become a confidant, so he suffered yesterday's defeat. After figuring this out, Mizuki suddenly felt that his thinking was clear, as if he had broken through some kind of realm. Also, if you want to be unafraid of Uchiha Itachi, you must solve the problem of genjutsu. If this problem is not solved, Mizuki will always be at a disadvantage as long as it meets Uchiha Itachi. Or, improve the accuracy of echolocation to the point where you can see the enemy's every move as clearly as dynamic vision. Or, enhance your spiritual power. As long as your spirit is strong enough to ignore the control of illusion, then you are not afraid. Echolocation, no matter how you improve it, will eventually have flaws, so don't consider it for now. Although the speed of sound is very fast, there is still a delay. The speed of sound in the air is 340 meters per second. If Mizuki is 30 meters away from the enemy, it will take about 0.1 seconds for the echo to reach his ears. In other words, there will be a 0.1 second delay from the time the opponent makes an action to when Mizuki sees it. In a battle between masters, 0.1 seconds will determine the final outcome. Therefore, echolocation is not suitable for use in combat. So, the only way to go is to improve your mental strength. The Yamanaka family and the Nara family should have drugs or methods that directly enhance mental strength. But Mizuki definitely can't get this secret medicine. The only thing he can rely on is the system. Get some refreshing medicine later, Sasuke and Sakura-chan, and give them one chance to return each. When they return to the village, they will deliver medicine. Go back to the village. I don't know what the third generation has prepared to welcome me. Chapter 36. Trial in the conference room. Mizuki also knew that third generation called him back to Konoha this time, nominally to ask about Anbu's death, but in fact, it was most likely to plan to kill him. Konoha has already suffered a lot because of Mizuki. Those who had lost before were all root ninjas. Danzo's die-hard fans, third generation, don't feel bad. But this time, the 3 Anbu who died were the mainstay of the village. Third generation's heart is definitely bleeding. But even so, Mizuki still plans to return to the village and fight for it again. He really wanted to stay in Konoha. There are many talents, a good environment, delicious food, but the boss is an indecisive old man who is easy to bully. Where to find a better place to live? As for being a rebel ninja, Mizuki would never take this path unless forced to do so. Look at Orochimaru, look at Zabuza, look at the shameful life they live, and you will know that it is not easy to be a traitor. Mizuki wasted no time on the road and accelerated towards Konoha. It takes 3 days to walk, but if you jump through the woods, you can get there in half a day. Soon, he arrived outside Kimura's gate. Azumo and Zeti, the gatekeepers, registered Mizuki to enter the village. Zeti said, "Shunin Mizuki, Lord Hokage, please report to the Hokage office immediately after you return." Mizuki nodded and walked towards the Hokage building. The news of Mizuki's return to the village reached third generation's desk immediately. Third generation narrowed his eyes, with a vague murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Inform Danzo and the 2 advisors to come, and then summon all Jonin and special Jonin who are on vacation in the village to the Hokage building to prepare for an emergency meeting. In addition, Anbu is ready for battle. When I give the order, he will immediately take down Mizuki. Third generation has made up its mind to do Mizuki no matter what today. The loss is too great. If Mizuki does not die, Konoha will definitely suffer greater losses in the future. He stood up, looked out the window at the peaceful Konoha village, and said to himself, I will never allow anyone to destroy the peace of the village. Even if there are signs, they must be eliminated. Just then, a crow flew directly towards the window where third generation stood. The third generation frowned, and the next moment, Anbu appeared and slashed at the crow. Wait, Sandow waved Anbu away. The crow flew to the window sill, looking at third generation with dark eyes. The third generation also saw the letter tied to Crow's leg. Is it Itachi's summoning Crow? Itachi has never sent any news to the village for so many years. Why did he send the crow today? Third generation took off the letter from the crow's leg, unfolded it and read it. The more I look at it, the uglier third generation's face becomes. Transformation. Perception ninjutsu. You can clearly detect the movement around you even if you close your eyes. I learned the Rasengan of the 4th generation and added the wind-style chakra nature transformation, which is powerful enough to break Orochimaru's triple Rashomon. Reject Orochimaru's solicitation and confront him head-on. Itachi can't do anything to him. Seeing this, third generation's already wrinkled forehead became even more wrinkled at this moment. He originally thought that Mizuki would just change his appearance, but he didn't expect that Mizuki would hide so deeply. How on earth did he learn these ninjutsu? Advertisement. Third generation is confusing. He is obviously a chunin with mediocre qualifications and doesn't even have a mentor to guide him. There is no reason for him to be so strong. If the will of fire was planted in his heart when he was young, there might be another successor like Minato in Konoha. It's a pity that it was discovered too late. Third generation took a long drag on the pipe and blew out the smoke with a long sigh. It seems that we must take it down with lightning speed. If not, let him use the wind-style Rasengan, Konoha will suffer huge damage. With determination flashing in his eyes, third generation picked up the letter and continued reading. The news delivered by Uchiha Itachi, in addition to information about Mizuki, also included information about the Akatsuki organization. In the letter, there is information about the members of the Akatsuki organization, as well as analysis of their intelligence and capabilities. Pen, the self-proclaimed god, possesses the legendary Rinnegan. Third generation immediately thought of Jiraiya. Jiraiya once had 3 apprentices in the Land of Rain. One of them, Nagato, owned the Rinnegan. The masked man who calls himself Uchiha Madara, possesses space and time ninjutsu. Seeing this, third generation narrowed his eyes and unconsciously recalled the Night of Nine Tails 12 years ago. Who are you? The news from Uchiha Itachi shocked third generation. Mizuki's strength shocked him. The strength and composition of the Akatsuki organization shocked him even more. He turned his attention away from the Akatsuki organization and his top priority was to deal with Mizuki. Soon, all the senior officials and the unemployed jonin in the village arrived, and Anbu also made various arrangements. Third generation Sama, Mizuki has arrived downstairs. Anbu reported. Third generation nodded and said, take him to the conference room. He walked to his desk, put down his pipe, put on his Hokage hat, and walked towards the conference room. On the first floor of the Hokage building, there is a large conference room with a main conference table above. There are also rows of tables on the left and right rows. At this time, Shimura Danzo, Mitokado Homura, and Udatane Kaharu were already sitting at the main conference table. There are many jonin sitting on the 2 rows of conference tables below. Yuan Fei Asuma, Yuhi Hong, Might Guy, Anko, Morino Ihiki. When Mizuki walked into the conference room, everyone looked at him. Anbu took him to the center of the conference room and said, you wait here. Master Hokage will come back soon to preside over the meeting and ask you about your experience in the Kingdom of Waves. To be honest, Mizuki felt uncomfortable being stared at by so many people. Especially at the main conference table, Shimura Danzo's unabashed murderous eyes made him extremely disgusted. He has the urge to throw wind-style spiral shuriken. But there is no other way. If you want to stay in Konoha, you have to endure it. Soon, third generation came, walked to the main conference table, and sat in the main seat. Mizuki, tell me carefully about your collusion with Orochimaru and the murder of 3 Anbu. Third generation directly enlarged its moves. Mizuki was stunned when he heard this. Good guy, third generation is really determined to kill him. However, he didn't panic. Third generation Sama, you said I colluded with Orochimaru, is there any evidence? You said I murdered Anbu, what's the reason? Although you are Hokage, you can't judge me as betraying Konoha and colluding with Orochimaru without any evidence. The third generation scolded. The 3 Anbu are Jonin, they are powerful, they are all dead, why is your Chunin not dead? There is only one reason. Orochimaru doesn't want to kill you. There is only one reason not to kill you. You and Orochimaru are accomplices. Mizuki smiled. Advertisement. Third generation is completely willing to take risks. The conference room also directly turned into a trial court. The 2 advisors frowned. Mitokado Homura said, Hiruzen, based on this alone, how can we conclude that he colluded with Orochimaru? Udatain Kaharu also said, yes, Hiruzen, how can this kind of inference be used as evidence of conviction? Danzo said, what Hiruzen said is correct. It is unreasonable for him to survive from Orochimaru. I can't think of any other reason why Orochimaru didn't kill him alone. The surrounding Jonin looked on with cold eyes. Everyone can see that third generation is targeting Mizuki and wants to put Mizuki to death. At this time, no one will stand up to speak against the third generation, and no one will support the third generation. Because, third generation really has no evidence. Mizuki defended himself. Third generation Sama, if it is true as you say, then Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, and Haruno Sakura are all Orochimaru's accomplices. Orochimaru didn't kill them either. Third generation said coldly, the village will find out whether they are Orochimaru's accomplices. Mizuki was speechless. Third generation added. In addition, you secretly learned Rasengan, the Muji ninjutsu invented by 4th Hokage. This is also an unforgivable sin. All ninjutsu are the property of the village. You cannot learn them privately without permission. Rasengan is a powerful A-level ninjutsu. If you steal it secretly, you will be punished for treason. Mizuki was stunned. How did third generation know I knew Rasengan? Telescope technique, is it possible that it also covers the Kingdom of Waves? Or is it that someone among the 3, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, snitched and sent a message back to Konoha? Or, Uchiha Itachi, that 25-year-old boy. After thinking about it, Mizuki felt that Uchiha Itachi was the most suspicious. So he said, third generation Sama, I don't know Rasengan. That's a powerful ninjutsu created by 4th Hokage. How could I do it? Third generation Sama said that I know Rasengan, do you have any evidence? Third generation, he has evidence, but he can't show it. Uchiha Itachi still carries the name of Konoha's traitorous ninja. The news he sent back cannot be used as evidence. At this time, Danzo said, Rasengan, let's not talk about it. You secretly learned the Flying Thunder God technique. Is this always a fact? This is the news from Anbu. They saw with their own eyes that when you were fighting Zabuza, you used the time and space ninjutsu to move your position instantly. The Flying Thunder God technique was created by the second Hokage and is the forbidden technique recorded in the Book of Sealings. You know the Flying Thunder God technique, so it goes without saying that you must have peeked at the sealed book. This alone can sentence you to death. Mizuki glanced at Danzo. This old coin really does distort the facts. Mizuki didn't bother to argue with them anymore, he was ready to make a big move. Sir third generation, everyone, whether I am guilty or not will be discussed later. Now I have important information that I must tell you. This information is related to the safety of Konoha. If it is not handled properly, Konoha will probably be destroyed. As soon as this statement came out, the atmosphere in the entire conference room became weird. Everyone looked at Mizuki like he was a fool. Scaremongering. Danzo scolded coldly. Don't expect to change the subject to get away with it, confess your crime immediately, and then accept justice. Mizuki ignored him at all and simply said, Konoha, collapse plan. In just 6 words, the atmosphere in the conference room instantly changed again. Especially the third Hokage, whose pupils shrank suddenly. Chapter 37. Orochimaru, I'm sorry. What is the plan for the collapse of Konoha? Tell me clearly. Third generation asked loudly. When it comes to the safety of Konoha, third generation no longer cares about killing Mizuki. Danzo's eyes flickered and he said, Hiruzen, don't be deceived by him. He definitely made up the Konoha collapse plan. He wants to create panic and rely on false intelligence to get away with it. You absolutely cannot trust him. Mizuki smiled and said, Elder Danzo, why are you in such a hurry? Are you also involved in the plan to collapse Konoha? As soon as he said this, third generation's eyes froze, and he turned his head, staring at Danzo with his eyes like a hawk. Danzo's face was expressionless, but his eyes evaded for a moment. Mizuki, as an elder of Konoha, how dare you slander me? Danzo shouted. He also said to third generation, Hiruzen, Mizuki has no dignity. I suggest that such a person be executed directly. Third generation had realized something, took a deep look at Danzo, and then turned to look at Mizuki again. It is related to the safety of the village. This matter must be investigated. Mizuki, tell me everything you know. Danzo hurriedly shouted. Hiruzen, you can't be fooled. Danzo. Third generation shouted in a low voice. The safety of the village is more important than anything else. In view of your repeated inappropriate remarks, please leave the meeting room now. You are no longer suitable to continue participating in this meeting. Danzo's eyes widened and he said angrily, Hiruzen, I am here for the village. You will regret it if you don't convict and execute him. Third generation said coldly, Danzo, I am the Hokage. Now, leave immediately. Danzo was furious, stood up and pointed at third generation, wanting to continue saying something. The advisors of the two committees couldn't stand it anymore. Udatane Kaharu said, Danzo, you are indeed not suitable to participate in this meeting. You should follow Hokage's order and leave. Mitokado Homura also said, Yes Danzo, the safety of the village is the most important. Whether it is true or false, it must be investigated clearly, so Mizuki cannot die now. Danzo had no advantage in one fight against three. But he was still unwilling. It is an indisputable fact that he secretly read the Book of Ceilings, and learned the Flying Thunder God technique. He must be executed. If you want to know what the Konoha collapse plan is, why not kill him first and then let Heiichi explore his memory? Wouldn't this be more certain of the authenticity of the information? As soon as these words came out, Jonin's expressions changed slightly. Not to mention whether it was true or false that Mizuki peeked at the sealed book, even if it was true, he would not have to die. Even if someone has committed a capital crime, he should be given a chance to atone for his crime. Third generation slapped the table and shouted, Danzo, shut up and get out now. Seeing that third generation had made up its mind, Danzo knew that it was useless to say anything, so he had no choice but to turn around and leave. Hiruzen, you're going to regret it. After saying the last words, Danzo slammed the door and walked out. Third generation. Mizuki, now tell me everything you know. If what you said is true, then the crime of peeking at the sealed book can be exempted. Mizuki smiled. Advertisement. This level has been passed. So, Orochimaru, I'm sorry. On that day, Orochimaru suddenly appeared in the land of waves, bringing with him a boy named Kimimaro. That boy was pregnant with the bloodline limit dead bone pulse. The purpose of Orochimaru was Uchiha Sasuke. He killed 3 Anbu and planted a curse seal on Uchiha. He recounted some of the battle situations that day. Of course, some changes were made. I hid in the dense forest and overheard Orochimaru's plan. During the Chunin exam, he united with Sunagaku of the Wind Country to launch the Konoha collapse plan to completely destroy Konoha. Third generation's expression did not change. He was very confident that even if Sunagaku came out in force and combined with Orochimaru, it would not be enough to destroy Konoha. Even if Konoha is defenseless, it will never be destroyed. The background is there. But he also knew Orochimaru's character. Since he said he wanted to destroy Konoha, he must have some trump card. Third generation asked, besides that, what else did you hear? Mizuki continued. There is support from within Konoha, and Sunagaku will send the strongest weapons. Third generation raised an eyebrow and thought to himself, there is someone inside Konoha who is taking over, who is it? And the Sand Shinobi's most powerful weapon, one-tail Shukaku. Even the tailed beasts have to participate, so it's no small matter. Third generation is finally getting serious. Third generation asked again, is there any more? Mizuki frowned and said. At that time, Kimimaro asked Orochimaru, Orochimaru-sama, it is rumored that the third Hokage is the strongest in the ninja world and the strongest Hokage. Can we and Sand Shinobi succeed alone? Orochimaru smiled at that time and replied, if we and Sunagaku are alone, it is impossible to succeed. But I still have 2 trump cards. Even if the third generation is strong, they will never be able to defeat me. Third generation asked hurriedly, what trump card is it? Mizuki smiled and stopped answering. A look of irritation flashed on third generation's face, but he was helpless. Tell me everything you know, and I will forgive you for peeking at the Book of Ceilings. Mizuki looked at third generation and said calmly, I have never peeked at the Book of Ceilings. I don't know the so-called Flying Thunder God technique. The technique I master is called displacement. Advanced ninjutsu of body replacement technique. Sir third generation, there is no need for forgiveness for unfounded crimes. Third generation is anxious and wants to know what Orochimaru's trump card is. But now, Mizuki used this to threaten him to change his story, which filled him with anger. He finally compromised and said, show it and let everyone see if it is the Flying Thunder God. This will prove your innocence. When saying this, third generation felt aggrieved. Mizuki smiled, turned around and finally focused on Sarutobi Asuma. The next moment, the apparition was activated, and his and Asuma's positions were exchanged. Everyone's pupils shrank suddenly, even the third generation. Although he had learned about Mizuki's apparition through intelligence, the shock of seeing it with his own eyes was completely different. At this time, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Mizuki. With this ninjutsu alone, Mizuki definitely possesses Jonin, or even exceeds Jonin's lethality. Why was Namikaze Minato able to achieve great military exploits during the Third War and then successfully ascend to the position of Hokage? Advertisement. Isn't it just relying on the Flying Thunder God technique? It's not the Flying Thunder God technique. Third generation finished speaking and announced, Mizuki is not guilty of peeking at the sealed book. His heart was bleeding when he said this. How many times has it happened? Why does Mizuki never die? Why? Thank you, Master Hokage, for giving me the opportunity to prove my innocence. Third generation waved its hand and said, now, tell me Orochimaru's 2 trump cards. Mizuki nodded and continued. At that time, after Orochimaru said there were 2 trump cards, Kimimaro asked what they were. Orochimaru smiled and replied, it is said that the third generation is the strongest Hokage, but it is not true. The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato is not weaker than the third generation. The first generation and the second Hokage are far stronger than the third generation. Third generation frowned and asked, why did Orochimaru suddenly talk about the strength of the Hokage in the past? Mizuki smiled and said, Kimimaro asked the same question at that time. Orochimaru replied, since he is the ace, of course he is stronger than the third generation. Who do you think is stronger than the third generation? Kimimaro said. According to what Orochimaru-sama just said, the ones who are stronger than the third Hokage are the first Hokage and the second Hokage, but they are already dead. At this time, third generation seems to have realized something, but has not yet fully figured it out. Mizuki continued. Faced with Kimimaro's question, Orochimaru's answer was, they are indeed dead, but who says dead people can't fight? As soon as these words came out, third generation stood up with a sudden look on their face. No one else present could understand why third generation reacted so strongly. Some Jonin also started talking. Why does it sound so unscientific? How do dead people fight? Could Orochimaru have a way to resurrect the first generation and second generation? Could it be that the corpses of the first generation and the second generation were stolen and made into puppets? It is said that there is a puppet master in Sunagaku who has mastered the method of making puppets from corpses and can use the abilities of the corpses in life. Where did you hear that puppet masters are not that powerful? At this time, third generation's brows had gathered together, and he looked very impetuous. Mitokado Homura said, Mizuki, did Orochimaru say anything else? Did he explain in detail the technique of fighting with the dead? Mizuki shook his head and said, that's all he said. Homura wanted to ask something else, but was interrupted by third generation. Okay, no need to ask any more, I already know Orochimaru's plan. At this time, third generation already believed 99% of Mizuki's plan to collapse Konoha. Because there is a lot in what Mizuki said that cannot be made up. Like, let the dead fight. Even if the two consultants don't know something, Mizuki will never know it. But since Mizuki knew it, he definitely wasn't making it up casually. Today's meeting ends here. No word of the content of the meeting is allowed to be revealed. Mizuki has done a great job in bringing back such important information. I announce that Mizuki will be rewarded with 1 million taels of gold, and will be rewarded with the Ninjutsu Earth Style and Tulong Spear. Mizuki's ninja level will also be upgraded from Shunin to Special Jonin. The meeting is over. Seeing third generation walking out of the conference room first, a hint of sarcasm flashed across Mizuki's lips. Chapter 38. Refresh the total amount of chakra. Mizuki revealed the plan to collapse Konoha and successfully diverted the third generation's attention. A trial against Mizuki came to nothing. On the rooftop of the Hokage building, third generation looked up at the Hokage rock with their hands behind their backs. His eyes lingered on the rock statues of first Hokage and second Hokage for a long time. The guilt in his eyes lingered for a long time. Impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru, I didn't expect you to have fallen so low that you would destroy even the rest of the dead. Absolutely, unforgivable, third generation's eyes are full of determination. I was too soft-hearted after all when I let you leave. This time, I will kill you with my own hands, even if it takes my life, I won't hesitate. At this moment, familiar footsteps sounded behind them, and third generation knew that Danzo was coming without even turning around. What are you doing here? Third generation asked calmly. Danzo. Hiruzen, Mizuki's words can't be completely believed. After all, he. Do you know about Orochimaru's plan? Third generation interrupted Danzo and asked suddenly. Danzo was surprised and thought that third generation was indeed suspicious. But he didn't panic, his face was calm and his breath was stable. I've said it all, don't believe all Mizuki's words. He is obviously trying to sow discord. If you believe him, Konoha will be in chaos before foreign enemies come to attack. Besides, Hiruzen, you don't know my loyalty to Konoha, do you? The third generation looked up and sighed. Yes, you have always been loyal to Konoha. Everything you do is for Konoha. While saying this, third generation's eyes were full of coldness. Yes, you are indeed loyal to Konoha, but you are not so loyal to me, the Hokage. Danzo's eyes flashed with subtle contempt. Hiruzen, after all, you are still so indecisive and lack courage. It is under your leadership that Konoha has become desolate. If I were the Hokage, I would definitely not be in this embarrassing situation. The information Mizuki brought back may be false, it may be true, and it may even be half-truth. Third generation frowned and said, whatever you want to say, just say it. Danzo. If you don't kill the snake, you will be harmed by it. With us targeting Mizuki like this, he must be holding a grudge and retaliate whenever he gets the chance. If the Konoha collapse plan is fake, it doesn't matter. If it is true, Mizuki will definitely take advantage of the chaos to destroy Konoha. Such a time bomb must be dealt with in advance without giving him any chance. Third generation nodded. Of course he knows this. He brought back the news of Konoha's collapse plan and made great achievements. I declared him innocent in public. If I take action against him again, the Jonin in the village will object, and the two advisors will also object. Advertisement. Danzo frowned and said, you just watch such dangerous elements threaten the safety of the village at any time. Third generation. During Chunan's exam, I will send him out of the village to perform tasks so that he will not have the opportunity to take advantage of the chaos and destroy the village. Danzo sighed and said, I hope your decision is right. After saying that, Danzo turned and left. Third generation waved his hand, and Anbu immediately appeared behind him. Send a message to inform Jiraiya to return to the village. Also, find Tsunade and tell her to come back and see me one last time. Anbu was shocked when he heard this and couldn't help but ask, Master Third Generation, what do you mean by this? Third Generation waved its hand. Just do as I say. Anbu could only respond, yes, and leave. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief when he returned home. The Third Generation already knew in advance that I would apparate in Rasengan, but they still planned to kill me. They must have something to rely on. But fortunately, we didn't get to that point after all. Next is the Chunin exam. Once the Third Generation dies and Tsunade takes over, I won't have to worry about it all day long. The Third Generation knows the plan for Konoha's collapse in advance and will be fully prepared. When the time comes, Orochimaru might not even be able to do it. But so what, Orochimaru can't kill the Third Generation, and he can't kill himself. There's still more than a month left. I have to improve my strength even more, and then I'll try to trick Third Generation. To accept apprentices, you must accept more apprentices. If you want to become stronger, you cannot rely on yourself, you must rely on the system. The more apprentices you have, the more returns you can make every month, and the faster your strength will improve. After taking a short rest, he went out and came to the orphanage. Mizuki, I haven't seen you here for a long time. You must be very busy recently. The dean welcomed Mizuki. Yes, Dean, I spent half a month out of the village on a mission, and I just returned to the village today. The two talked for a while, and suddenly the dean said, you taught them the chakra refining technique before, and they had a child, and it was successful. Is it Nobita? The dean was stunned and asked curiously, how do you know? I asked everyone to keep this matter a secret. I didn't even tell Hokage. Mizuki smiled and said, I saw that day that Nobita had ninja talent, but he was not very strong. Unexpectedly, he really succeeded. Dean, I want to take Nobita out for a walk, and I have something to say to him by the way. The dean said, no problem, but it's lunchtime. Let's go shopping after lunch. Mizuki, no, I just took him to eat Ichiraku ramen. Then he took out a wad of money. This mission was successful, and Master Hokage rewarded me with some money. I donated these to the orphanage. Advertisement. Not much, 100,000 taels, plus some nutritious meals for the children. At Ichiraku ramen restaurant, Mizuki and Nobita were already seated. Nobita is very reserved. As an orphan, he eats 3 meals a day in the orphanage. It is impossible to think of eating on the street. This is his first time to have lunch on the street. Nobita, you can order whatever you want to eat. Nobita whispered. Master, I just want a bowl of clear soup ramen. Mizuki shook his head, sighing in his heart. This damn world. That's not okay. Master, I'm not a stingy person. If I treat you to ramen, of course I have to make sure you eat it well. Well, let me give you some. He shouted to his hand. Boss, give this little guy 3 bowls of ramen, 1 bowl of barbecued pork, 1 bowl of tonkatsu, and 1 bowl of seafood. Okay. Nobita was anxious. Master, 3 bowls is too much. I can't eat that much. Mizuki smiled and said, I heard from the dean that you have a big appetite. You usually restrain yourself from eating more for fear that other friends will not be full. I'm treating you today. I'll keep you satisfied. If 3 bowls are not enough, I'll add more later. Nobita said hurriedly. Enough, 3 bowls is enough. Soon, Nobita's 3 bowls of ramen arrived. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Nobita a bowl of barbecued pork ramen, triggering a 300x return. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Nobita a bowl of tonkatsu ramen, triggering a 500-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Nobita a bowl of seafood ramen, triggering a 600x return. Close black lens bracket. Since the grant to a disciple is the same as the grant type, the 3 returns will be superimposed. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, triggering 3000 times return. Host gets a bowl of chakra noodles. After eating, the total amount of chakra increases by 3 Kakashi. Close black lens bracket. Li Yu smiled. There is superposition again, and the return multiplier after superposition is very impressive. He seemed to have found a pattern. Chakra is the foundation, of course the more the better. Now Mizuki's total chakra amount has reached 14.5 Kakashi. Nobita's qualifications are not particularly good. Every time he returns, the amount is hundreds of times, which is not high. If you give something else as a gift, the return may not be good. Therefore, it is good to brush chakra on him. At this time, Nobita was already addicted to the deliciousness of ramen, and he did not realize that he had become Mizuki's tool to increase the chakra limit. Oh, delicious, so delicious. Chapter 39. Targeting Xiao Li. Sure enough, Chuki once again gave Mizuki a bowl of ramen. After eating, the chakra began to increase, and after eating, the total amount reached 14.5 Kakashi. Is 14.5 calories a lot of chakra? For the average person, it is indeed quite a lot. But compared to some dicks, they are really pitiful. For example, Naruto's normal chakra is 4 times that of Kakashi. But in full state, it is 100 times stronger than Kakashi. The other 96 cards of chakra are used to seal 9 tails and cannot be used. In other words, not counting 9 tails, Naruto's chakra is 100 times stronger than Kakashi's. And if you include 9 tails, it's even more terrifying. This is why, during the Fourth Ninja War, Naruto was able to distribute chakra to everyone. Look at Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama again. The battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and the chakra was not used up. The battle between the brothers Hagoromo and Hamura and Kagaya lasted for several months. Compared to these idiots, Mizuki is far behind. Fighting with all his strength, he can use up all his chakra in 3 minutes. You still have to keep working hard. Mizuki sighed. Nobita on the side, even though he tried his best, he didn't finish all 3 bowls of ramen, he only ate 1 bowl. I'm sorry, Master Mizuki, 3 bowls of noodles are too many. He looked at Mizuki carefully, for fear that Mizuki would be angry. Mizuki said casually, it's okay. If you can't finish it, you can't finish it. It's cheap anyway. His purpose is to return the system, and he doesn't care at all whether Nobita eats it all. No, the dean teaches everyone not to waste food. I want to sit here and wait for the food in my stomach to digest before I finish the half bowl. Listening to Nobita's words, Mizuki felt agitated for no reason. There is a vague feeling of cynicism that wants to burst out. This damn world. Don't eat it. Pack it up. Let Auntie heat it up for dinner. You can eat it again. Nobita asked. What is packaging? Poor kid, he doesn't even know what packing is. Mizuki didn't explain anything and just called out. Boss, please help me pack this bowl of noodles left. Okay. While walking on the road, Nobita carried the food box and said happily, this ramen is so delicious and the soup is super delicious. When I get back, I will share this bowl of noodles with everyone. Eating a noodle and a sip of soup for each person, well, that should be enough. Mizuki couldn't help but sigh. Suddenly sad. Nobita, do you want to enter the ninja school? I don't know why, but Mizuki suddenly asked this question. Obviously I just want to use him to get more rewards. Nobita's eyes were full of yearning. Who among the children of Konoha doesn't want to study in a ninja school? Who doesn't want to be a powerful ninja? Nobita thought too, but after yearning, there is hesitation. But, I want to be with my friends at the orphanage. The children in the village always bully us. We can't beat them. If I leave, we will be even more unable to beat them. Mizuki said. Enter the ninja school and your strength will become stronger. When the time comes, you can fight back whoever dares to bully the children in the orphanage. And ninjas can take on tasks and make money. With money, they can make the friends in the orphanage live better. Hearing this, Nobita no longer hesitated and nodded repeatedly. I want to go to a ninja school. I want to become a ninja and protect everyone. I want to make money and buy a lot of delicious food for everyone. After sending Nobita back to the orphanage, Mizuki found the dean again and explained the matter of sending Nobita to the ninja school. Advertisement. The dean did not object, but was very much in favor. Although ninjas are dangerous and can easily lose their lives, the lives of ordinary people are even less guaranteed. As for the orphans in the orphanage, sometimes they are not treated as human beings at all. Becoming a ninja is enough to change the fate of an orphan. After leaving the orphanage, Mizuki began to think about taking on a disciple. Among the Konoha 12, except for those who inherited family secrets and bloodline limits, the only ones who have a chance are Xiao Li and Tiantian. Xiao Li is a taijutsu player, and Tiantian is a ninja player. I'm not good at these 2 things, so I can't seem to impress them. Since you want to accept a disciple, then you have to be better than the disciple. In terms of physical skills, Mizuki is definitely no match for Xiao Li. In terms of ninja tools, Mizuki is half empty. Unless Xiao Li and Tiantian were blind, they would worship him as their teacher. After all the calculations, it seems difficult to win the remaining 9 of the 12 Xiaoqiang. How about going to Konohamaru? This idea was rejected by him as soon as he came up with it. The 3rd generation is not dead yet. Now go to Konohamaru and ask him to become his disciple. The 3rd generation will definitely stop him. Trouble. Ninja school. Can it start early? There are so many young talents in the ninja school. Even if their qualifications are not as good as those of Naruto and Sasuke, the quality is not enough and the quantity is sufficient. Even if they are all like Nobita, if we recruit dozens of them, wouldn't it take off? Mizuki walked down the street with a melancholy look on his face. He was very unhappy that he couldn't receive a disciple. At this time, 3 little ghosts passed by. He, I finally defeated Grandpa. Konohamaru said happily. Mengwang. What? The seduction technique you used is not considered a defeat at all. A real defeat is to defeat someone head-on with great strength. Snotlout. Konohamaru, I think Mo is right. The seduction technique is useless to me, and the 3rd generation Sama won't fall for it. He must be pretending. Konohamaru was not happy. Who said he was pretending? Didn't you see that his nosebleed came out? Who says it must be defeated head-on? No matter what technique it is, as long as it can defeat the enemy, it is valuable. Mizuki on the side heard this and had an idea flash in his mind. His eyes were wide open and his face was full of excitement. Yes, why didn't I think of it earlier? Who said that to become Shaolin's master, you have to rely on physical skills? No matter what method you use, it will work. As long as he can make him worship me as his teacher, it will be a success. Ha ha ha, he burst out laughing. The 3 Konohamaru people on the side were startled by the sudden laughter. Hey, it's brother Naruto's master. Konohamaru recognized Mizuki. Mizuki looked at Konohamaru and said, you are right, no matter what technique it is, as long as it can defeat the enemy, it is valuable. Your words inspired me a lot, and I decided to treat you to delicious food. Meatball shop, you can have as much as you want, how about it? Who knows? Konohamaru listened with disdain. TCH, what's so delicious about meatballs? I'm tired of them. Mizuki, well, the grandson of 3rd generation is not comparable to those orphans in the orphanage. Growing up, I had everything I wanted, and it was normal to get tired of eating meatballs. Mizuki asked, then what do you want? Konohamaru rolled his eyes and said, you are brother Naruto's master, and you must have invented the seduction technique. Can you teach me a ninjutsu that is stronger than the seduction technique? Mizuki was speechless. Wasn't the art of seduction invented by Laozi? But this is an opportunity, maybe, you can earn a well-qualified apprentice for free. Advertisement. I have many ninjutsu here that are stronger than the seduction technique. I can teach you them, but you must be like Naruto and worship me as your teacher. Konohamaru said in surprise. That's great, I'll bow down now. Before he finished speaking, an Anbu suddenly appeared. Master Konohamaru, Master Hokage is looking for you. Konohamaru said. Wait a moment, I will apprentice first. Anbu. No, Master Hokage is anxious to see you, please hurry up. Konohamaru said disappointedly. Okay. Before leaving, Konohamaru said to Mizuki, just wait, I will come to you again. Looking at Konohamaru walking away, Mizuki sighed inwardly. Alas, it is indeed so. However, I have become familiar with Konohamaru. It will be much easier to accept him as my disciple in the future. At this moment, the Anbu said, especially John and Mizuki, Konohamaru is the grandson of the 3rd Hokage. Not everyone can be his teacher. Please pay attention to your identity. Mizuki's eyes narrowed, and the next moment he transformed, he switched positions with a stone behind Anbu. Anbu felt the person in front of him suddenly disappear, and then there was a piercing murderous aura behind him. Cold sweat broke out from his forehead. Don't talk to me in this tone. I hate bullies who take advantage of themselves. At this time, there were a few, shua, sounds, and 2 more Anbu appeared and surrounded Mizuki. Mizuki, what do you want to do? Mizuki smiled lightly. It's nothing, just a joke. After saying that, he turned around and left with a contemptuous smile on his lips. He continued to wander around the village, and after a few hours, he finally found his target. 9,996, 9,997, 9,998, the last 2 are still short of 10,000. If you can't complete it, then you will punish yourself by continuing to run 500 laps around the village. A young man wearing green tights was walking upside down around the village. He was sweating profusely and his hands were shaking, but he still persisted. Weights were tied to his legs, waist, and hands. Rock Lee, Mizuki's new apprentice candidate. Xiao Li, who? Xiao Li heard someone calling his name, couldn't hold on anymore and fell to the ground. Mizuki was a little embarrassed, as if he was disturbing the other person's practice. Unexpectedly, Xiao Li stood up the next moment and said happily, the training plan of walking 10,000 times around the village has not been achieved, so next, I will run 500 times around the village. The corners of Mizuki's eyes twitched wildly. Why are you so happy when you fail? You obviously failed on purpose just to run 500 laps. The guilt that had just arisen in Mizuki's heart disappeared in an instant. At this time, Xiao Li had clearly seen Mizuki's clothes and face. It turns out to be Mizuki-senpai. Is it possible that you are practicing youth when you come to such a remote place? As expected of a senior, he worked so hard. My youth was ignited again, and I decided to do another 300 laps. The sudden burst of enthusiasm, as well as the teeth that dinged and flashed in the sunset, made Mizuki's eyes twitch. No, I'm not as young as you. At this moment, Mizuki had the urge to turn around and leave. It's a bit unbearable. Ahem, Xiao Li, stop for a moment. I came here specifically to find you. Xiao Li asked curiously. Senior, do you have anything to do with me? Mizuki. I heard that you don't know ninjutsu, genjutsu, or even chakra, so you can only specialize in taijutsu, is that right? Xiao Li replied. No, I do have chakra, but the refining speed is very slow, so I can't use ninjutsu and illusions, even the most basic three-body technique. So, I can only practice physical skills. But I firmly believe that I can succeed even in physical arts. Mizuki smiled. Then, if your chakra refining speed can be increased, the premise is to become my master, would you be willing? Xiao Li replied directly. I don't want to. Chapter 40. Rock Lee, Difficult Strategy. Mizuki was stunned. Refuse so simply. Why don't you want to? Is it because of Gaijonin? I don't think this is a problem. Ninja didn't say there can only be one teacher. Xiao Li shook his head and said, no, Senior Mizuki, that's not the reason. I refuse, I just don't want to give up the belief in my heart. Xiao Li's eyes were shining. It is the light of faith that moves forward without any regrets. In my eyes, there is only physical skills. If I have more chakra, like other ninjas, then I may not be able to withstand the temptation and turn to ninjutsu and genjutsu. It's not easy for a genius to do something well, let alone a mediocre person like me with ordinary qualifications. If I distract myself from learning other things, then my future will no longer have any prospects. Xiao Li's words made Mizuki couldn't help but extend his thumb. How many people can understand this kind of consciousness? As the saying goes, having too many skills is not a burden, so some people want to learn everything and master everything. Those parents send their children to various interest classes, such as piano, guzheng, sketching, traditional Chinese painting, dance. The result is that there are a wide range of interests, but none of them can lead to success. On the contrary, even if an ordinary person studies a subject, even if his qualifications are not high, he can still become a master over time. Well said. Mizuki couldn't help but praise. Xiao Li said. Thank you, Mizuki-senpai. These are all taught to me by Teacher Guy. Mizuki looked at Xiao Li with more and more appreciation. Xiao Li, actually, you are not mediocre. When looking at a person, you have to distinguish between inside and outside. The external body is innate and determined by family and bloodline. This cannot be changed. But on the inside, it is determined by yourself. In my opinion, what determines a person's future height is not the quality of external qualifications, but the quality of internal mental toughness. Xiao Li's eyes became brighter and brighter. Mizuki continued. From the outside, your qualifications are indeed not good, even very poor. But in terms of inner spirit, you are truly strong. You will definitely become a strong person in the future. Mizuki is not shy about his kind words. Xiao Li was not proud, but said calmly, thank you Mizuki-senpai for your encouragement. I will continue to work hard. Then Mizuki-senpai, I have to continue training. I'm sorry. Mizuki has a lot of thoughts in her heart. Damn it, lousy, I've said so much and you just say, excuse me. You won't lose a hair if you become your teacher, why don't you want to? Damn it, this is forcing me to make a bigger move. Mizuki was worried. Wait a minute, Xiao Li, I heard that you like Haruno Sakura. When Xiao Li heard this, his face immediately turned red, and he hesitated and said, Senior, you, how did you know? Mizuki smiled in his heart. Looking at this, there is something interesting. Don't worry about how I know. Let me tell you, I know little Sakura's character very well. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to pursue her. Xiao Li changed his shy look, stared and said, it doesn't matter, I will try my best. I believe that with my efforts, little Sakura will be moved by me and accept my most sincere love. Mizuki was speechless. Advertisement. Actually, if you want to pursue little Sakura, it's not impossible. I can help you. Xiao Li immediately refused. Mizuki-senpai, outsiders cannot interfere with emotional matters. I have to rely on myself to get little Sakura's love. Mizuki was even more speechless. He is indeed a little kid, he doesn't understand anything, and he says that outsiders can't interfere in emotional matters. Funny. Sakura-chan is my disciple, and I know that he likes Uchiha Sasuke. Xiao Li. I will defeat Sasuke-kun and win little Sakura's heart. Mizuki felt like he was playing the piano to a cow. Ahem. To tell you the truth, with your strength, you have little chance of defeating Sasuke. This is of course Mizuki's alarmism. Although Sasuke learned the Rasengan, he may have even opened the Namagatama Sharingan. However, after Xiao Li opened the sixth gate of the 8 inner gates, Sasuke was probably helpless. Xiao Li. I will practice harder and I will be able to defeat him sooner or later. Today, I can't talk anymore. You have to look at it from another angle. He asked. Do you know why little Sakura likes Sasuke? Xiao Li. I heard that Sasuke-kun is very handsome and many girls like him. Mizuki shook his head and said. This is just one aspect. The main reason is to get along day and night. Sasuke and little Sakura are assigned to the same class and spend all day together. Over time, they will naturally like each other. And you, little Sakura doesn't even know you, so she won't like you. In addition, strength does not mean everything. Love between two people has nothing to do with similar strength. No matter how hard you practice, it will be useless even if you defeat Sasuke. Little Sakura still doesn't recognize you. After hearing that no matter what he did, little Sakura would never like him, Xiaoli finally broke through. Then what should we do? Mizuki smiled. My dear, it's so difficult. It's very simple. You need to get in touch with little Sakura and even get along day and night. Let little Sakura get to know you and your excellence. Over time, she will naturally accept you. Xiaoli frowned. But, I'm from class 5, and little Sakura is from class 7. We don't usually have contact with each other. How can I let her know me? Should I go to her house to find her? That won't work. It's too abrupt. Not only will she not like me, but she will hate me. You kid, what else do you know about being abrupt? However, I finally got the point. It's really difficult. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief and said, it's easy. Xiaoli looked up at Mizuki and said respectfully, Senior, please teach me. Mizuki said, Little Sakura is my disciple and will practice with me from time to time. So, as long as you also worship me as your teacher, then I will also take you to practice together. This way, you and little Sakura will have a chance to get in touch. If they stay in contact for a long time, little Sakura will know how good you are and accept your love. Mizuki drew the pie. The more Xiaoli listened, the brighter his eyes became. Immediately afterwards, he stood in front of Mizuki, bowed deeply, and then respectfully shouted, Master. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you successfully accepted Lok Li as your disciple. Close black lens bracket. Host has received 5 disciples with talent level C or above, and will be rewarded with an attribute panel. Close black lens bracket. Note. The current disciple quota is full. If you want to increase the quota, at least one disciple must obtain the title of Chunin. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. The quota is full. What the hell, I can't continue to accept apprentices. What are you doing, limiting your own development? Isn't it necessary to limit quotas? The quota is limited to prevent the host from being lazy and only accepting apprentices without teaching. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki sighed. Could it be that I pulled the wool out of my system too hard and my system hurt? He cursed the dog system in his mind and turned his attention to Xiaoli. I finally have another apprentice, so I have to make good use of it. Xiaoli, today I want to teach you a boxing technique. Xiaoli said excitedly. Master, do you also know physical skills? Ahem. Mizuki coughed dryly and said, I'm not specialized in taijutsu. In comparison, I'm better at ninjutsu. Xiaoli asked. Master, what kind of boxing are you talking about? Mizuki. This boxing technique is called Tai Chi. What is Tai Chi? Mizuki explained. Tai Chi is a broad and profound ancient boxing method. The boxing method contains the principles of heaven and earth such as yin and yang, movement and stillness, positive and negative, form and spirit. The purpose of Tai Chi is to use stillness to stop, to use softness to overcome hardness, to use slowness to hit fast. Let him be strong. Let him be strong. The gentle breeze caress the hills. Let him be horizontal. Let him be horizontal. The bright moon shines on the river. When you practice to a high level, you can withstand all attacks, be both offensive and defensive, and move forward and retreat freely. Xiaoli's eyes widened and he listened carefully. Okay, now I'll demonstrate it again, and you can watch from the side. Mizuki started to practice Tai Chi, which he learned when he went fishing by the river in the park and watched the old man in his previous life. One move after another, one advance and one retreat, very slowly. It seems to have no power at all. But Xiaoli on the side looked at it very seriously. He wanted to remember every move Mizuki made. Soon, after one stroke, Mizuki breathed out. How much do you remember? Xiaoli replied. I remember 80%. After a while, Mizuki asked again. How much do you remember? Xiaoli was embarrassed and said. Only 30% is left. After a while, Mizuki asked again. What now? Xiaoli frowned and replied. I forgot everything. Mizuki patted Xiaoli on the shoulder and smiled. Not bad. Not bad. Xiaoli was dumbfounded. I forgot all about it, and you actually said it was good. Master, what do you mean? Xiaoli asked. Mizuki didn't know what it meant, but just said. Don't worry, go back and understand it carefully. When you understand it, Tai Chi will naturally be learned. After saying that, he turned around and left. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Lok Li's version of Tai Chi, triggering a 3000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, for getting the full version of Tai Chi. Close black lens bracket. Full version of Tai Chi, created by martial arts master Zhang Sanfeng, uses softness to overcome hardness and calmness to stop. Close black lens bracket. Activated by Chakra, the power is increased 100 times. It can resist ninjutsu and taijutsu, and reflect the attack to the enemy. Close black lens bracket. Ha ha ha, it's not worth wasting so much of my breath. It's worth it. It's worth it.